All right.
Mo yoru osoi desu yo. Kyouju tte tetsuya suru no suki desu yo ne.
All right, cool. Okay, this time I'm actually gonna remember to bring this all down, so that way I can actually like I'll bring that to 60. Bring that to like so it doesn't lag on stream, but this should be good. It definitely doesn't lag. Like if I'm just like playing like on my own, but with the stream setup and everything, it lags a little bit. It's not that noticeable in Girls Frontline. It's more noticeable in this game. Anyway, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Saturday stream. Even though it's technically Sunday my time, I'm still counting this as Saturday. And I am here to finish off the rest of the event. The Singularity Immemorial space event. I'm here to finish the rest of it off. I already got new characters that I wanted. They're all pretty good there. I don't need to do like any like gacha shit. Fine for that. I already did my dailies before the stream, so I'm pretty good on that. Yep, we're all good. We're all good. In yesterday's stream, I also did like a little bit of Nikkei stuff, just like a little bit of gacha, and that was about it. But here we're good. Really want to buy this. Really want to buy this quartz package here. Also happens to come with a costume. There's another quartz package here for 1,500, which is actually not a lot. That's like 2 oath rings right there, or it's like it's one costume and a half. It's basically one costume and a half. So with 1,500, so that's 2,500 if I were to buy both of these for 50, or I get this one. So I actually get more. You get more out of this one then. You get 3,200 quartz, 30 advanced searches, and a free costume. Or, not free, you're paying for it. Versus this one, where you get... Versus these two. If I combine these two, you also get 30, but you do get less quartz, and no costume. So, this is the one to get. I have 3 days. Damn, I really want it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. I really want it, though. Really want it. I don't need it to live. Oh shit, it looks different. Oh wait, it's because I reduced the effects, isn't it? Oh, I just realized that. Well, like it only lags during combat. Hold on. I'm like, why does it look like shit now? Damn, I didn't realize it would look that bad. Alright, if I put this on high. Alright, if I put this on high. Oh, yeah, it looks better. Oh, wow, this looks way better. Yeah, this looks super good. I mean, this doesn't lag, though. Like, this isn't lagging for me. It only lags during combat. I wish there was like a middle ground for, like, the graphical settings where, like, I can set that for combat. I want it to be lowered, but I don't think that's really a thing. Medium. Probably low for that one. I don't need dynamic shadows. So these two technically really only affect if I actually, like, go to the Oasis, which, like, it doesn't really happen too often, and that's not combat-related anyway. Where was the Oasis button? There it is. It's like, I never do this. There we go. Yeah, this is something that I just never do. Wow, that's a lot. That's actually a lot. Can I even recognize, like... It's really hard to, like, recognize... Is that Kroku right there? It's really hard to recognize some of them. Is that Helix? It's... If I'm, like... If I'm just, like, having to look at, like, their basic-ass colors, because everyone's a fucking block. Is that Yuwong? That looks like Yuwong. I wish I could click on them, but I can't. Oh, is that Kluke? No, that... Oh! That's Horizon. Okay, so I could tell. I could tell for a couple of these. Oh! That's Zhangyu. Yeah, that's Zhangyu. Oh, that's Tosh. That's Tosh right there. Okay. Oh, that's Kroku. That's Kroku right there. Oh, wait, is that Kroku? Can't tell. I can't fucking tell. I can't tell. Alright, anyway. Wow, like, yeah, the sun looks like shit. It really does look different, like, without, like, the particle effects and everything. It really does look way, way different. But now, like, I shouldn't lag during combat, which I guess is something that I normally, like, never really, like, take stock into. Alright, so the only reason why I haven't done this yet is because it looks like it's gonna be a story thingy. Alright, I need, even though this was yesterday, I gotta, like, fucking remind myself, like, what was going on again? Oh, okay, so, like, yeah, we're just seeing, like, the whole fucking, like, Mercury get absorbed into the sun bullshit from, like, her point of view. Okay. She sends out, like, the last bit of, like, data and, like, video feed that she can to, everyone, like, at, like, the Jupiter base or whatever. And then everyone's like, oh, we gotta tell her to get out of here. And she decides she wants to stay behind. Yeah, I get it. Howdy, howdy. Welcome to the Saturday stream. Even though it's technically Sunday, but I'm counting this as Saturday. Finishing off the rest of the NeuroCloud story readout for the rest of the event. And this should be the last bit of it. 4 chapters. And the titles for the last sub-chapters looks like that'll be it. Also, there's no more planets. Oh, shit. There's still Earth. Oh, God, is there a part 5? Oh, damn. I didn't think about that. Oh, I didn't think about that. I don't even think we went to Earth yet. God damn. Because we're on chapter 4, and that's on Jupiter. Not here yet. Kind of hoping I'm actually at the end of the story, because I don't want to do another stream of this. I guess I'll figure it out if I have to get there. Anyway, RIP. Rest in peace, Administrator Zanu. She'll get reset, but it won't be the same person. She won't have her memories. I'm still, like, of, like, slight disbelief that she really had to sacrifice herself, though. Yeah, I kind of don't see it. They had enough data. They really did. They had enough data, I think. She's also the administrator. The agents would willingly die for her, so she also could have left the agents there. I know that she would feel guilty, but, like, she's also the administrator. It's like, she's kind of important. But she decided to go herself to Mercury for some stupid reason. I don't know. I mean, like, they explain why. I just don't get it still. I just don't get it. So I guess technically Yuan is like acting administrator right now, because Yuan always seemed like he was in charge anyway, and Ringhan was always like the combat person. Also, was not expecting to even see Antonina here. I guess we could thank Hubble and Fresnel for that. Shit, is Antonina that smart? Fuck, Antonina's good at everything. I received the last set of data and images sent by the administrator. Everyone is in from the communicator. Zanu's last message has brought both the desire and hope to them. So they decide to try and learn more from the Oasis while preparing for the final battle, spreading word as they do so. Parts of the message was too damaged to be restored in the short term, but the results of the analysis matches up to our basic conclusion. In other words, these entropics all come from the heat death program in the sector space layer. Then, yes, while Juitin's heat death entropics, or HD entropics for short, might use the same logic as ordinary entropics, they're very different from each other. Rather than corrupting and assimilating agents, Juitin's entropics are primarily focused on consuming mass. Thank you, Miss Anna. I'd like to verify something. Can we get rid of these HD entropics? Unfortunately, I don't have enough information to come up with a way to eliminate these HD entropics. They might run on the same base layer logic as entropics, regular entropics, but they are fundamentally different programs. Also, even if I did have enough information, Juitin might not last long enough for me to finish analyzing them. How could this? Forgive me for saying this, but given the spread of the HD entropics, it might be wiser to abandon the Juitin sector. But if we abandon the Juitin sector, then these guys and Zanu will. I understand. In that case, I guess there's no other way to stop them besides reset the sector, like the administrator said. I'll try to decipher the damaged portion of the message ASAP. I'll contact Hubble about it once I'm done. Thank you, Anna. Be careful. I'll open the back door at the north pole of the sector's Earth, if anything happens. Remember to keep yourself safe. I don't want to lose any more friends. After Antonina hangs up, the group is silent again. Looks like our destination is settled. Specifically, the data center on the Gavin research base on Earth. Our fastest ship, Galactic Hero, was consumed by the sun, along with Zanu, and other high-speed battleships are still charging. Don't worry about that, we still have our OWAS, 1702. It's got 3 of Kroku's experimental operant EN drives. The OS's battleship isn't as fast as the ones of Juitin's, but they have an interesting way of using operants. Gagrin, outfit the Oasis ship with additional thrusters. Belka is already on the job. Estimated time completion is around 10 minutes. The shrill sound of the siren interrupts their conversation. Entropic comments are coming. Yuan, the comments are here. They've arrived sooner than I expected. All combatants on the Jovian Ringworld prepare to move out. As Yuan gives the order, all the combatant agents of the Ringworld head towards their vessels. Hubble, Fresnel, sorry for getting you involved in unnecessary trouble. The Ringworld is in danger, and Zanu entrusts this place to me, so I'll need to lead the agents here and fight into the very end. This might be a bit sudden, but I'd like you to go to Earth and help reset the sector. Yeah, the Juitin sector is like a second home for me. And since Zanu asked, I'd have done it anyway even if you hadn't asked, in order to restore the sector to its previous peace. The Oasis would never abandon an ally. Besides, our mission was to bring you and Ringhan back to the Oasis. I'll be counting on you then. Give the Oasis ships priority launch clearance. Ensure they have a smooth path to the Earth. Size 40. Okay, well, it's very clear where they fucked up on this. Also, wait, are they just using like fucking normal ass like HTML or like CSS? I think they're using just normal like fucking CSS shit right here. So what they're missing here is there needs to be another like bracket, and then like there needs to be a backslash. Bracket, backslash, size equals 40, end bracket. That's what they're missing. I assuming they're just using like regular CSS, and I remember how to actually do that. Basically, just copy and paste the first size 40, but just put like a backslash on it, and then that should do it. Actually, wait, I don't even think you need to put the size 40 on there. I think you could also just do like just bracket / size bracket. I think that's also what you could do. But instead, like, they just put like the first part of it, and they didn't put like the backslash part. That's kind of funny. Well, we can just imagine that the yes sir is supposed to be like, I don't know, like 3 times bigger or something. No, not 3 times. We would assume that's maybe 4 times, like 4 times bigger. I'll lead the Ringboard forces to help buy Hubble and Fresnel time. No, you will go with them instead. Yuan reaches out to block Ringhan's path. I've got a lot of experience finding the HD entropics. Sending me to deal with them would be the wisest choice. The entropization is spreading non-stop. The road to Earth would not be safe. The sun may have stabilized for a bit after devouring Mercury, but nothing is guaranteed. You know the sector better than Hubble and Fresnel, and they're needed escort too. I guess there's no way I can argue against all that. Ringhan holds her fist out in front of Yuang. Alright, I'll make sure Hubble and Fresnel get to Earth. But in turn, you got to protect yourself too. I'll make sure I give you all the cover I can manage. The sector's reset is in your hands. Return in triumph. Glory to Juetan. Return in triumph. Glory to Juetan. Your vessel's ready. All personnel headed to Earth, please proceed to OWASP 1702. Huh? Where's Hubble? It seems Miss Hubble stepped out for a moment after receiving some news. Miss Fresnel, there are some device repairs on your vessel that require vetting from you to eliminate the chance of errors occurring. Please follow me. I'll leave him... Oh, shit. I accidentally hit a button. What was that? I'll leave a message to tell Hubble to meet us at the spaceship repair dock? Oh, okay, got it. Alright. Fresno and Ringhan follow Gagarin and soon arrive at the spaceship. The drive output went up by 50%, and the thruster components were all fixed. Aha! You look like a real pro, Fresnel. You might have the makings of becoming an astronaut too. Wait, really? Of course! I've always had a good eye for these things. I'll take you on a tour of the Juetan sector once everything is over. Once everything is over, huh? Please note that the responsiveness of all devices has been upgraded to some extent. Be careful when accelerating. Currently, the OWASP 1702 speed is on par with the Juetan sector's fast battleships. I'm certain you'll reach Earth and initiate the reset successfully. Belka, what's going to happen to all of you if the Juetan sector is reset? Belka has only seen the reset of friends, so I can't give you any concrete answers. According to the analysis of the reset program's logic, the Juetan sector will return to its initial state. All the research material obtained during the course of its development, all the agents that respond, and so on, will not be retained. Everything would be lost after the reset. Heyo, welcome to the Saturday stream. Gotta finish the rest of this event. Hubble arrived at some point without them noticing. She is standing at the entrance to the cockpit and listening to their conversation. Hubble, you're here. Is there any news? Yeah, I just got a message from Anna. She has good news and bad news. And the good news is? The Oasis has sent a support team to meet us. And the bad news? Given the current progress of the heat death program, the support team will have a hard time reaching Juetan sector before it undergoes complete heat death. Also, what else is there? It's nothing, just a few reminders. Hubble was silent for a while, then she shakes her head before turning to look at Belka and Gagarin. Once you're reset, the laughter, pain, and memories of your friends, everything will be reduced to nothing. Is that really alright? Belka will miss them, but Belka was created for this slice of the universe, so Belka has long since been ready for it. But if Belka could leave something behind, then it would be good if Juetan sector's research could survive somehow. That is the sum total of everything we've accomplished, with our efforts since we're born. It is the worth of our collective existence and the hope that we want to bring to reality. I assume this is like the first reset they've had to done, like, without contact with the outside world. Because I would assume that normally when they do the reset, any, like, research they did, like like a human scientist in the real world would like collect that research, and then like after they get that research, then they would reset it, and then like all the AIs and shit like just go back to normal or whatever. But they lose their memories, and then like they kind of like just do it over again, but like maybe with like slightly different parameters. It's like, the way I see it, like they're trying to like find like an answer to like heat death. So I guess it's like they're going with like the random approach. So like every time they do a reset, they get research data. It goes to like a scientist computer. They reset, and then like they probably like slightly modify a couple parameters, and then they kind of like just let the agents do their own thing, like basically full autonomy. And then they go through another reset, and then they just do it all over again. But this time, there's no research data like being sent over because they don't have any connection to like the real world anymore. So like the only reason why they're going through the reset is because of the heat death is coming, and the whole entropic heat death thing. That's just kind of like pure coincidence. The heat death was already gonna happen, but they got to reset anyway, just because the entropic heat death is like not part of the initial program anyway. But now that they're here, the heat death is already here too, even though it's a little bit early, at least according to Zanu. So time to reset. Time to do a full reset, which kind of makes me wonder if that wasn't really an option for all the other sectors, like the Pyridus sector, because the Pyridus sector was like the arts sector, and like I guess maybe they just don't have like the necessary like equipment to do a full reset on it. Because if they were to do a full reset, then maybe we could get like Odette and Odile back, but like the original Odette and Odile, and then like there'd be the entropic Odette and Odile to fight against or whatever. But the Pyridus sector was the arts sector. It was also like a small sector too, so it's possible that like there wasn't that much like important like shit in it like in the first place. The whole purpose of the Pyridus sector was just basically just kind of like be more of like I don't know, like a fucking secondary hard drive for like art shit. It's like, oh, here's like where we could like upload like fucking PNG files. It was never that important. They already had problems with like fucking Opera and shit like even before like the server cutoff point anyway. But the server being cut off just made it worse for them, and they just didn't have like any operands at all. Which would seem kind of funny if like the Oasis went to the Pyridus sector first at the beginning of the game. They'd be like, hey, we need operands. And then Pyridus sector would be like, we need operands too. So then like they both wouldn't have operands. But that wouldn't have happened though, I guess, because like Anna already did a search. She did a search and she was like, oh, like I searched like all the sectors around us, and like here is the closest sector that has operands. So they probably scanned Pyridus already, and then they're like, oh, there's no reason to go here because like they have no operands like for us to ask for shit for or whatever. But it does make me wonder like if like it was possible to save Pyridus if they went there first, maybe? I don't know. There might not have been enough time though. Like, even if they try to, like, keep their conversations to a minimum, it's like, hey, we need operands. And then, like, Odette and Odile, like, we need it too. And then, like, even though, like, Persicaria and Professor are nice, they'd be like, oh, like, hey, like, we also need operands. How about we go into the next sector together? And then, like, maybe we both could ask for operands. I mean, like, I feel like Turin would actually, like, also give operands to, like, the Pyridus sector too, just because like art might be like a good thing for her to expose her AIs to, since like Tyrion was making AIs and shit. She'd be like, oh yeah, like that could help like their growth or something. I mean, assuming that she didn't die to faith, so I feel like Tyrion would have done it too. We just kind of had to kind of like change a couple things about it to make sure she actually lives and doesn't die to faith in this instance. It did seem like her sector had more than enough operands, just because like it's an AI sector and like AI is pretty important like for everything. They seem like they had operants to spare. Especially since, that's like kind of all she's doing. Like, she's not doing anything too crazy like the Cyclops sector and like the constant combat and shit that they were doing over there or whatever. I would assume the Cyclops sector probably like be doing like a bunch of like explosion junk crap or whatever with all the constant battling. And then the Copley sector was already fucked. Copley sector was fucked probably since chapter 1. I don't think they would have been able to do anything about the Copley sector. I concur with Belka, or rather, all of Juton's agents share the same wish. Miss Hubble, Miss Fresnel, and Lady Ringhan, there is only one thing I would like to ask of you. Gagarin sends him a list of data. Lady Zanu sent the sector's core research backups to Earth. They are now in the Cobbins Research Base Data Center. Have you finished the preparations for backing up the sector's research data? The core data has been backed up. The rest will be done in roughly 2 hours. Load what's done into the super high-speed shuttle as planned. Zanu, did she anticipate something like this would happen? Lady Zanu has always prioritized the safety of the sector's research data throughout her time leading Juton's agents, which is probably why she made that decision. We hope that if you get the chance, you can take this data with you. And then the Oasis will have a bunch of like space data. The Oasis is gonna have everything. I mean, like, it did seem like the Enigma sector was okay at first, but then they got gaslighted, right? Like, the AI got gaslighted into thinking like, hey, you know what you should do? You should suck up all the operants from like all of Magressi. And then she's like, oh, is that what I should do? It's like, yeah, you should totally do it because like it'll make your fucking administrator happy. And then she was all like, okay. And then she just started sucking up everything. But other than that, though, it seemed like she was fine, though. It didn't seem like she was even that hungry for, like, operants in the first place. Like, the AI construction, like, for her was already, like, going at a good pace. But, like, I guess she wasn't growing fast enough, like, to satisfy her or whatever like that. So, she got gaslit pretty hard. Which, I guess it was... I guess it was, like, what? It was the Entropic Leader that gaslit her, right? Melkiva, whatever her name was. We didn't know who it was at the time, though. Wasn't it, like, question mark, or something? The character, like, hadn't been introduced yet, so we didn't know who it was, but... Like, I'm pretty sure now we know who it is. It was the Entropic Leader. She's the one that gaslit her into, like, thinking she had to suck up all the operants and crap. I'm pretty sure now they're fine. Especially, like, now that, like, everyone has the Oasis firewall. They got the sandbox barrier around them now. And no one trusts the Sanctifiers anymore at this point. The Sanctifier has the Copley sector, but, like, that's kind of, like, by default, because, like, there's nobody in the Copley sector in the first place. The Copley sector would have basically been, like, a second Oasis if the professor, like, didn't just give it to Love. But, to be fair, it's like, what were they gonna do with it, right? It literally would have just been, like, a second Oasis. So, the professor giving away the Copley sector to Love, like, it didn't matter that much anyway. Even though, like, it did kind of make, like, Anna mad. She was all like, she's like, what are you doing? You could have used that. It's like, yeah, but there's nobody here, though. Like, all the agents are dead, and the administrator died a long time ago, technically. She got, like, fucking, like, entropified, like, first or whatever. And the entropy was, like, already, like, in there for too long, so, like, she couldn't even be reset. So, all the agents in Copley are just dead. So, I guess Copley now is just, like, basically, like, a secondary Sanctifier base. And I doubt the Sanctifiers are doing, like, ocean research. They probably don't give a shit about that. Since the Copley sector is supposed to be for, like, ocean stuff. I guess the Pyridus sector, now that I think about it, the Pyridus sector is probably also, like, just, like, extra Oasis territory now. I don't remember if they gave away the Puritas sector to Sanctifiers. Also, it's a pretty small sector. I feel like nobody cares about the Puritas sector. Odette and Odile basically, like, have to suck up operants from, like, all the agents there just to keep the sector going. Puritas sector was basically, like, self-cannibalizing itself for operants. I remember that, like, before Odette went, like, super crazy with, like, the operant, like Entropic Flower shit, they were supposed to be making a deal with, like, Rico and the merchants to, like, sell art to, like, the Burbank sector, because the Burbank sector is the entertainment sector and shit, but I guess the operants just wasn't flowing enough, though, so Odette, like, got desperate. It was supposed to be a steady supply of operants, though, as long as they supplied art to the Burbank sector. But that didn't happen. I did actually catch up with, like, my reading in, like, the black hole, like extra material and shit. And according to what I read on there, the Puritas sector legit is just a fucking, like, upload databank for, like, fucking PNGs and JPEGs and whatever like that. It's literally just fucking, like, AI art or whatever. Or not AI art also, only, but, like, also, like, human art or whatever. So it was just like, it's just an upload bank. So I don't really know, like, I don't really understand, like, why it was there in the first place. It's like, was there, like, one scientist, like, at NeuroCloud who was like, hey, can I have, like, a tiny, like, art sector or some shit? It'll be really small. It'll be really small. And then, like, he just took art from, like, fucking Reddit. He took art from, like, fucking 4chan or, like, fucking DeviantArt or whatever. He just, like, uploaded that to, like, the Puritas sector. It's also crazy to think here, too, that, like, the Magressi cloud server, this has got to be, like, fucking, like, petabytes of data. Since, like, there's whole entire, like, agents and AIs in here having, like, fucking lives and whatever. Like, the amount of data circulating in Magressi has got to be, like, massive. Which would explain why Persica wants the commander to, like, you know, like, find the data and agents in here. Because it's worth saving, basically. It's tough to lose that kind of data. That's why Persica cares about it so much. There's definitely a lot of cool data here. Especially the space data. I really hope we see, like, space zombies in Girls Frontline 2. Space zombies would be kind of cool. Space, like, giant monsters or whatever. It's like, if you thought the radiation on Earth was bad, wait till you combine that radiation with, like, solar radiation from space or whatever. We'll probably get, like, some really good, like, zombie bosses, like in Girls Frontline 2, like, if they do, like, space shit or whatever like that. Also, now that I think about it, if they ever have, like, space stages in Girls Frontline 2, they could actually use that as an excuse to give a fucking exo armor to the commander. The exo armor would be a perfect excuse to give the commander, like, maybe, like, a custom exo armor too. Make it, like, Gundam-like or some shit. So that way, like, the commander could actually be, like, a playable unit, like, on stages. Even if it's not, like, a permanent unit, it could be, like, a... It could be, like, one of those storyline units that you get to use sometimes. That'd be kind of cool still. The commander is sometimes, like, out in the field. He does have to actually, like, shoot shit sometimes. So, give him an exo armor, and, like, the dolls, like, won't have to worry about him dying at least. And then I guess the extra armor could also have, like, extra oxygen and, like, extra, like, anti-radiation coating on it or something. That could work. That could work. If they ever have to go into space for real. Anyway, take the data with you. That way we'll have no regrets. Wait, you just said that Earth only has the backups of the core research data. Does that mean once again you left? Yes, the situation was pressing, and so Lady Zanu only had time to take the high-priority research data with her. Some of the agent backups were not included with them. Then the backups that Ringhan and Belka brought back with them. Yes, they were not sent to Earth. Oh, what? No! What a waste of a mission. What a waste of, like, all the hard work they did. They worked so hard for that backup data. I mean, like, I guess to be fair, the backup data wouldn't matter anyway because they were going to do a reset. But we didn't know that. We didn't know we were going to do a reset shit. They did all that work. And if you reset, Belka will be gone. But that data that Belka and friends left behind will remain. Duotin will also remain. This is a request from Belka and all the Duotin agents. Please help us protect that data. That's all we ask. Yo, Ringhan, like, fucking... Ringhan legit, like, almost died for that fucking backup data. They were, like... I believe they were, like, 80% of, like, the way of, like, the data or whatever. And then, like, Yuan was like, alright, just go. Just go. Like, the last 20% don't matter. And then, like, they got to 90%. And then Yuan was, like, still bitching to Ringhan. Yuan was all like, yo, like, get out of there. Like, the last 10% is bullshit. You don't need it. And then Ringhan was all like, oh, but the last 10%, it's actually the backup data. We gotta save it or whatever. And then we just found out just now that they didn't even send it to Earth. God damn. She did not need to sacrifice herself for that last 10% data. What a waste of a fake mission. So that means Yuan was white. Right, Yuan was right. It was not worth it. It was not worth it to save that data. After seeing the smile on Belka's faceplate, Hubble takes a deep breath, as though she's making up her mind. I promised that we would protect the data. Thank you, Miss Hubble, Miss Fresno, Lady Ringhan. Thank you, thank you. Belka rolls a few circles around the three of them, his fluorescent green faceplate sparkling with joy. Fresno bends down and picks him up, then pats his head. All the best. Gagarin, Belka, aren't you coming with us? The way to Earth is difficult and dangerous. The fewer people who head there, the better. We will help Lord Yuang to protect you and slow the spread of improvisation. You know, whenever I see, like, pictures like this, it reminds me of, like, all, like, the sci-fi shit in Gundam. Because, like, throughout, like, the fucking decades, Gundam has, like, a lot of, like, fucking, like... has a fucking, like, a lot of ways that humans could live in space. And, like, this is definitely one of the ways that, like, you could live in space. Along with, like, space stations and shit. Gundam has a lot of theory crafting. Like, that's actually why I like Gundam. Like, there's so much, like, creativity for, like, Gundam sci-fi. There's a lot of ways people can live in space and shit. This much material, though, like, you're definitely not getting this material from Earth, you know? It's like, you're definitely farming asteroids for it. And then it's like, how long, man? How long would it take to, like, farm, like, the iron from asteroids? And then, like, having to, like, you know, having to, like, fucking, like, heat it up and compress it. Having to, like, do, like, the fucking molding. And then, like, just, like, put it into spot or whatever, like... That would take a while, man. That would just take a while. I think I remember, too, like, there's a lot of theory crafting on, like, how long it would take to, like, Earthify Mars or whatever like that. And it's like, oh, yeah, like, it's actually pretty quick. It'd only take about, like, 800 years or some shit. Maybe 1,000? Which, that is pretty quick, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. But that does mean, though, that, like, you, in your lifetime, would not get to experience it. You know, it's like... Your great-great-great-great-grandchildren might get to go live on Mars, but it's like your grandchildren, if they're also scientists, they're also going to be working on turning Mars Earth-like, but they're not going to see it either. There's going to be, like, whole generations of scientists, like, working on, like, getting, like, green gases on Mars, getting, like, an atmosphere, getting, like, the magnetic sphere working and shit, and then, like, after, like, maybe, like, 20 or so generations, maybe Mars might finally be habitable for people, or whatever like that. But, like, the OG, though, like, the original scientist team that was working on making Mars habitable, like, they won't be around anymore. Unless in our lifetime we find a way to, like, I don't know, we find a way to, like, like back up our brains on the computer or some shit. If that's gonna happen in our lifetime, we're all gonna be robots. We're gonna live in the net. If I were to be digitized on the net, it's like, how much fucking time could I waste watching YouTube videos? How much time could I waste, like, catching up on anime and shit, you know? Not to mention that, like, time will probably, like, be different also. If my brain were digitized, I'd probably, like, absorb the data faster, too. So it's like, it won't take me 30 minutes to watch an anime episode. It'll take me, like, 5 seconds to watch an anime episode. I would just download the data for the anime episode, and then, like, it'd be like, okay, cool, I watched it. On to the next anime. I wouldn't have to waste that much time or whatever. This always makes me wonder if, like, in the future, robots are gonna look at humans and be like, man, humans do everything so slowly. Like, humans can't download data. Humans have to, like, watch shit. And humans take forever to learn crap. Humans have to, like, read a book. And then when the human reads the book, like, they may not even be paying attention. So they gotta, like, reread the book again or something. Yeah, humans were not made to absorb, like, dense amounts of data all at once. It kind of makes me, like, think about the Matrix, too. Because in the Matrix, it's like, they can download, like, an entire, like, library, like, all at once. It's like, in, like, the very first scene where, like, they're teaching, like, Neo about the Matrix, like the guy, he, like, uploads, like, a fucking floppy disk of Kung Fu, and then, like, Neo's like, I know Kung Fu now, or whatever like that. It took, like, fucking 3 seconds in real time or some shit. And then, like, there's also, like, another scene, too, where, like, the girl, she had to, like, learn how to fly a helicopter. And then, like, she told the guy, like, hey, I don't know how to fly a helicopter. So he gets a floppy disk for that. She closes her eyes for, like, 3 seconds. And then she's all, oh, Trinity, that was her name. Yeah, Trinity is all like, cool, I can fly the helicopter now. Although, like, I think, like, for them, it happens in real time, though. So, like, in outside time, it was 3 seconds. But in the brain, though, they spent, like, hours, like, learning Kung Fu. They spent, like, days learning how to fly a helicopter. So, like, time dilatation's a thing. Makes me wonder, like, if it's even physically possible for, like, your brain to, like, open up, like, the neural synapses to, like, learn new shit like that fast. Because, like, realistically, in order to, like, learn any skill, it's like you read something or you watch something, and then, like, you have to go to sleep. Going to sleep is actually an important part of learning. You have to go to sleep, and then that way, like, the neural pathways of, like, what you just read, like, it kind of gets solidified. But then you have to read it again, though. You have to, like, read it again. You gotta watch it again. You're strengthening, like, the neural pathways in your brain, and then you go to sleep again. And then, like, you kind of had to kind of, like, repeat the process a few times until, like, the neural pathways are, like, strong enough, so that way, like, you could just, like, just think about it, and then, like, it's there. You know, like, it won't just go back into, like, your subconscious memory or some shit. Like, learning is a slow process for humans. So, it makes me wonder, like, it might not be physically possible for us just to learn shit fast. You need time, physically, for, like, your brain to, like, make the pathways open or whatever. That shit, like, ain't instant. Because, like, your short-term memory is not your long-term memory. You need time to convert short-term to long-term. Just then, a frantic alarm echoes all throughout the Juiten sector. Looks like the clarion of war has blown. Belka and I ought to be leaving. Oh yes, Gagarin. I think I left something behind in the admin center. If possible, I'd like you to help get it with me. Please come with me. What the? I just realized that, like, they're using, like, the CG of Hubble with, like, her fucking planets and shit. But, like, they already have a CG of Hubble without her planets. So, It seems like they kind of weren't thinking here. They could have just used like the regular CG of her without like her planetary bullshit. There's literally a planet like blocking Gagarin right now because like Hubble's PNG file is like really big. It's a really big like file just because of the fucking planets or whatever. I understand. Come Belka, let's go. Did Hubble take something off the ship? Beats me, but she always has a reason for anything she does. The base monitors flicker, and then Yuan's face appears on them. All agents of Juitan Sector. I am Yuan, your temporary administrator. From now on, Juitan will be Redcon 1. I'm sure you're all aware of Zanu's death and the truth behind this crisis. After much study and research, we have found only one solution to the danger that we face, namely, resend the entire sector. The task of resending the sector falls to Ringhan and the crew of OAS 1702. As for us, our mission is to intercept the hordes of incoming HD entropics. He pauses for a moment, and then he takes off the cap he is wearing. Oh, that's supposed to be like his upgrade. That's supposed to be like his 4-star form or some shit. No, I think that's just his 3-star. I think it's just his 3-star form. Frankly speaking, this is an unwinnable battle. This is a one-way ticket straight to hell. But our aim has never been to defeat the entropics. If we can hold out until the sector reset is complete, we will have won. Let us fight to the bitter end for the future of the Juitan sector. As long as the stars shine upon us, we shall be reunited in Juitan. The entire base is filled with loud cheers as Yuan's transmission ends. He really is suited for this sort of thing, just like Zanu. Yeah, no wonder Zanu entrusted him with commanding the ring world. Yeah, see, like, there's a planet bullshit. Like, this is not necessary right here. They really do, there really is a fucking PNG of just her without her fucking planets. I should know, because I have it. I literally use it for the fucking thumbnail, so they don't need the planet shit here. It's just taking up space. Hubble, did you get your stuff? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's head out then. Yuan sent a squad to cover our departure from Jovian space. We'll head out once we get their signal. Alright, that's definitely something. That's gonna come back. It's gonna be like, hey Hubble, what did you get? Yeah, that's definitely gonna come back to us. Oh, it's like the entropic music. That's what I call this music. Entropic theme song. It sounds very bubbly. But like not the good kind of bubble though. It sounds like lava bubbles or some shit. If lava's had bubbles, I don't know. It sounds like bad bubbles. Like the blurpy sound. Sinister purple comets close in beyond the ring world. The number of heat death entropics here far outnumber those from the Titan decapitation attack. They loom like a gathering storm, so oppressive that those who see them can barely draw breath. The final battle is about to begin. Alright, the game is forcing me to play Fresno, Hubble, and Ringhan. Very weird that Ringhan's a fucking warrior when she just shoots shit all the time. Can I just auto this? Yeah, she shoots. She just fucking shoots stuff. She doesn't really like punch things or whatever. I know the game says that like her fucking Exo has like a beam saber or something, but like I don't see her using it. I see missiles. She has a fucking assault rifle, like when she's like not in her Exo. I see nothing about that screams warrior to me. Oh god, she looks horrible. Oh wow. It's like I turned off like the fucking special effects just so that way it wouldn't lag on stream. But damn. I got so used to like how HD they look. It's like I turned off the fucking crap and now everyone looks bad to me. But it doesn't lag though. Lag's gone. Oh wow, they look bad. Fresno looks so ugly now. Oh, she looks so bad. It's like, it's only when I stream. Like, the gameplay's fine when I'm not streaming. Why does she keep taking damage? It's like Ringhan's the one in front. Oh, I see. They literally just keep aiming at her. Even though, like, Ringhan's, like, right fucking there. She keeps taking that hit. What the fuck? Okay. Alright, let's, what if I do this? Alright, that... Just doing like the Hubble super was all I needed, I guess. God, the background looks horrible too. Oh, what the? Oh, you want me to use Yuwong. Okay. Nora. Alright, this should be fun. Alright, the game wants me to use Yuwong, but I could just take him out of the party anyway. Not like I actually have to use them. This motherfucker on top of the taunt thing. Alright. There we go. Wow, the 3D models really look bad without like the extra outline and shit. They look pretty bad, but I guess that's what happens when you turn off everything. You turn off all the pretty shit. It's smooth. It's definitely smooth. I can see like the fucking edges on 416, which I didn't see before, because everything was like rounded and shit. Anything I want to buy here? I noticed that like as the game went on, we don't get that many like 3 layers or like 4 layer like stages anymore. Like 3 layers and 4 layer stages are like optional. It's not part of the main campaign anymore. Probably because like people complained that it took too long. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the reason. Like 1 and 2 layers seems to be the standard now. But back then, like the standard was just 3 layers for everything. 3 layers, 3 layers, 3 layers.
ゲットたい。
Alright, can I auto this?
私の歌を。で、もう上がってよかと。
I never had to worry about lag with Girls Frontline. Maybe because Girls Frontline just uses like basic like 2D like PNGs like for the characters. There's no 3D. There's like barely any 3D in Girls Frontline. Nothing to really render. I kind of like can't really get behind like phone gaming at all, like hardcore phone gaming. People play like Genshin, they play like fucking like they play like fucking like I don't know like MOBAs or whatever. You have to like take up like fucking 30% of the screen real estate for like the fucking like touchpad like for the buttons and knobs. I can't get over that. I need a controller. I need a fucking controller. And then, like, to be fair, like, most of them, like, don't even have controller support anyway. Because, like, if you're playing on a phone, you probably, like, don't have, like, a fucking controller with you. Makes sense. I also, like, can't really, like, fathom, like, somebody telling me that, like, their phone is better than their computer. It's like, really? Like, their phone is better than their computer. That's why they play Genshin or, like, other games on their phone. Because they don't really use their computer for anything. It's like, nothing? Alright. I can't. I just can't. I don't know. I can't understand it. Even if, like, you would tell me that, like, you travel a lot or whatever, it's like, I don't know, laptop? You don't want to get, like, just a high-powered laptop or something? I just can't, I can't get behind that lifestyle. It's hard. And that's because it's coming from someone that never liked handheld gaming, though. I've always, especially with people buying $1,000 phones, too. That's the thing. People buying, like, $1,000 phones. It's like, you could probably get, like, a $600 computer. You know, that does more than the phone. But yeah, like, I never really enjoyed handheld gaming. So, like, this is coming from a person that, like, hated the Game Boy. I hated the Game Boy. I hated the PSP. I hated the fucking DS. I hated the 3DS. I mean, I have them. I have them because I had to, for exclusives. It's like, obviously I like Pokemon, and what was I gonna do? Like, wait for the fucking emulators to catch up on that? That would take forever. And also, like, spoilers are a thing. So, of course, like, I gotta play that shit, like, day one. I'm not waiting for the fucking emulation to catch up. It took fucking years for, like, PS3 emulation to even get into, like, a good enough spot to actually play games. And then the Wii was always weird, because the Wii had a lot of motion control bullshit. So, like, it took a while for, like, emulator makers to find a way to, like, get the, the fucking, like, the sensors for, like, the Wii remotes to, like, work on a computer and shit. I mean, now it's easy. They figured it out, but it was pretty hard back in the day, though. Obviously, you couldn't just plug in the sensor bar on your computer. It doesn't work that way. And then the Wii remotes, you also couldn't just, like, Bluetooth that. It was also, like, not simple. They had to really, like, figure out the coding. They had, like, backwards that shit. It wasn't just a simple console. But now it's easy. Duiton Sector, aboard the flagship of the Jovian Ringworld. Oh, the hat! The hat's off! That's how you know he's serious. Area C. A new comet has entered the interception range. Block it with the magnetic field shield. After that, deploy the operant barrier immediately to cut the landed entropics off from the comets. Areas A and B. Maintain your current fields of fire. All units take turns firing. You must not let a single entropic creature through. Team 08 just reported in. They've eliminated the entropics who made it past the ring world. You won't have to worry about the entropics pursuing Ringhan and the others for now. Judging by the time, they probably crossed Mars' orbit by now. Nah, that's a souvenir. That's a souvenir. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that hat. Not for sale. Not for sale. Belka, how are things on the blockade array? According to the observational data from a start spaceport, all the entropics are being held outside the blockade, and there are no signs of the entropic incursion on Jupiter's surface. Phew, looks like the establishing the blockade array against the entropic comets was an effective strategy. The array depends on various devices in the Jovian rings, so pay close attention to the Jupiter status. Gagarin, how goes the entropic extermination? All entropics within the Area A operand barrier have been exterminated. Moving to Area B. Lower the Area A operand barrier and make sure the other areas have adequate operand supplies. An entropic comet is about to reach Area D. Yuan stares hard at the screen. 3 comets have already been stopped by the magnetic shield. They were originally meant to prevent space junk from hitting the ring world, but they have proven tremendously useful for this purpose. The enemy keeps pouring in. Sir, another comet's heading for Area B. It's quite large. But Area B is still engaged with their first comet. They can't spare the troops to stop a second. Lord Yuan, please allow the Ringworld's explorating forces to directly intercept this batch of comets. I will lead them. I'll be counting you then. Belka, go with Gagarin. Teams 3, 4, and 5. Your mission has changed. Follow Gagarin's command and prioritize dealing with the new comets. Area B personnel be advised. Focus all your efforts on the first comet. Oh shit, it's on fire! They actually bothered to like make a second CG just for this. I see like spaceships. I see like I see explodey. I see like explodey bits and whatever like that. Oh, there's another spaceship up here. I see thrusters over here. In Area B, the incoming comet suddenly picks up speed, attempting to destroy all the nearby buildings with tremendous impact. The transparent shield slowly rises again, and captures a comet within itself. The sky goes dark as the comet hits. Ear-piercing alarm rings throughout the base. The comet suddenly sped up and we detected a cometary impact at Astarte spaceport. Large numbers of entropics are making ringfall. What's the shield status? It's been successfully deployed, and the blockade on the whole is stable. All point defense turrets, get ready. Target the incoming comets and fire. Streams of high-energy projectiles slash through the air in the direction of the dark purple comets falling towards them. The comets explode in mid-air, and dark purple smoke fills the sky above the ring world. However, this interception fire poses no threat to the ominous object, and they mercilessly strike the surface. The main comet swarm has been stopped. The entropic forces have landed near the Astarte spaceport. On the screen, entropic creatures quickly infest the spaces between the buildings. The buildings themselves and the streets. Everywhere they go is covered by a dense network of purple strands. Team 5, encircle the entropics that have already landed. Do your best to keep them from spreading. We need to buy time for our comrades to take out those comets. Concentrated gunfire forms an invisible wall that keeps the entropics about 20 meters away. As more comets land, an endless swarm of entropics fill the gaps in the front line. A dense pack of entropics have been sighted in the spaceport. They're trying to break through the firepower blockade. Turn up the heat. Team 4, head to the spaceport front line to support them. Warning, high energy improvisation reaction detected in Astarte spaceport. All agents evacuated immediately. Astarte spaceport is on the ring world and is closest to Jupiter. How could a comet from extrasolar space have gotten here in an instant? Gagarin, we lost contact with the Astarte spaceport. But how? The inner side of the ring world is closest to Jupiter, which means it is quite dark even when under direct sunlight, and today's sunlight seems especially dim. On the screen, the agents deploy the HQ shield. The massive barrier seems to sparkle, with scatter points of light. The purple color spreading from these points corrupts the shield in a matter of minutes. Detecting breaches in the shield caused by intropization. Packs of entropics drop in through the holes in the sky, until they form a small hill in front of the defenders. As more and more entropics discover how to breach the shield, they pour in endlessly through the gaps in the sky. Beep! It seems something has hit the camera. The camera lens shakes violently and transmission cuts out. Prioritize shield repairs. Track the entropic movements through the other cameras and figure out where they're coming from. Roger that! Warning! HQ periphery facilities have been entropized. Entropization is spreading towards the central regions. All agents evacuate immediately. All the surveillance devices near Astarte spaceport have been entropized, and radar scans are being impeded. I can't believe it. All of them. I can't believe it. All of them. Bring up imaging from artificial Jovian satellites ASAP. The agents patch the feeds from all the Jovian satellites into the main screen. Some have been destroyed by the comets. Others have been entropized. And the ones further away from the carnage are at bad angles. Gagarin can obtain no usable information from them. The satellites are not at ideal orbits for this. Try changing them. All of our artificial satellites are in bad shape from the cometary bombardment. If we change their course drastically, they might end up crashing due to Jupiter's gravity. We don't have a choice. We need to find out where these new entropics are coming from. I'll head out to Astarte spaceport myself. An entropization shell blasts through the HQ wall. Shrill alarms fill the air. Large-scale entropic incursion detected in the ops room. Team 3, hold off the entropics entering the ops room. We've lost the west flank of the ops room. Team 3 was blindsided by entropics and is now responding to hails. Shield under attack by high-energy weapons. Shield integrity at 25%. Warning, breach detected in blockade net. The entropic comets have completely breached the barrier. Astarte spaceport has fallen. Compact Gagarin. We need to find out where these entropics are coming from, so we can tell Lord Yuan. Gagarin. It has to be done, or more of our friends would die here. Gagarin! Never mind me. Hurry up and fix the barrier and restore the blockade. We can't let those entropics comets through. Belka knows he can't persuade Gagarin. All he can do is focus on fixing the barrier. Dutin Sector and Astarte spaceport on the Jovian Ringworld. Gathering energy non-stop, Gagarin fires beams after beams from his eyes, blowing away the vanguard of the entropic hordes. Sir, Astarte spaceport's been completely entropized. All the agent stations there are. Now is not the time to be sentimental. Gagarin moves ahead at full speed, heading towards his telescopes near Astarte spaceport. Covered by his allies, Gagarin reaches the telescopes while spewing an endless stream of beams. Retrieving observational data. Emitting analysis. Image after image flashes through Gagarin's neurocloud. How is this even possible? Not good. I need to inform Lord Yuan immediately. Gagarin, look out! Gagarin is so focused on collecting the information that he does not notice a shadow creeping up on him. The purple shadow lurking in the dark corridor suddenly erupts into a frenzy of activity and launches itself at Gagarin. Karm has been completely entropized. Our combat teams are not responding to hails. Team 2 was attacked by entropic forces of unknown origin, and we've lost all their signals. Team 6, 7, and 11 have taken heavy losses and are withdrawn to Himalaya. An endless stream of bad news pours into the command center, as though even the most determined resistance is pointless in the face of entropic comets' overwhelming numerical superiority. There's an emergency transmission from Area B. Put it through. On the screen, Gagarin twitches and struggles in a pool of liquid entropy. It seems there is important news he must relay. Lord, you are... Gagarin. Jupiter. Gagarin sends Yoan a video. The video depicts the interior of Jupiter melting and collapsing. The scraps of debris floating out from it into the void are mutating into dark purple specks. In the silence of space, they germinate, metamorphose, and gradually assume the most familiar form, entropics. Entropize. Yuan stares hard at the screen. The entropic miasma there seems to be eating away at his core and filling the air with silent despair. How could this be? Jupiter's actually entropizing from the inside out. Jupiter's entropization has already started. Heat, death. Lord, Yuan, Juetin, in your hands. The other side of the connection shakes violently, and then it cuts off in a screen of static. Gagarin! Gagarin! There's been a connection error, Lord Yuan. Would you like to re-establish a transmission? No need for that. The death of a friend leaves Yuan nearly unable to breathe. It is only now that he finally understands why the entropics and comets seem to be everywhere, and why all his preparations have always been too late. Entropy is the natural process of a system, going from order to disorder. It isn't just these external comets that harbor entropics. Once the time comes, any celestial body will entropize from the inside out. Are we insignificant beings trying to fight an eternal principle of the universe? Lord Yuan, the cometary cluster near Leda has broken through the blockade array and is heading towards Earth. Juetin sector at the Terrenian military space station in near Earth orbit. Oh, yo, this is like the OG, like, bass music right here. This is like Neurocloud music right here. This is like main menu music. OAS 1702 is now entering Earth's atmosphere. Flight conditions are good, vessel damage is minimal. Don't be careless. There haven't been any entropic signs in Earth space so far, but we can't rule out the possibility that there might be waiting in ambush. Got it. The spaceship continues on an even course towards Earth, and as it nears the planet, the vast form of the moon is visible outside the observation window. Hubble looks at the window at the moon, a hint of doubt in her eyes. Prisno, how far are we from Earth? "527 kilometers. But the moon is only 406,000 kilometers from Earth at its epigay. What is the moon doing here? Oh. Could it be? The anomalies in the sun have already affected Earth's gravity? Or rather, there's a problem with Earth, like all the other planets. Well, there's no time to worry about that. We need to get down there ASAP. So wait, are all these planets to scale? Because, like, they went from, like, Saturn to, like, Jupiter to, like, Earth. Like, is the Earth, like, Earth? Or are they simulating, like, literally, like, the entire, like, fucking Milky Way galaxy in here? Because if they are, then the Juetin sector's fucking huge. Because, like, the Oasis is basically, like, a city-state. That's about as big as the Oasis is. If we take, like, the main menu, if we take, like, the menu screen, like, canonically, like, for how big they are, it's, like, I think the biggest sectors is, like, the Oasis and Burbank. I think Burbank was also pretty big as well. But, like, the Juetin sector is just, like, space? It, like, damn. Like, is it a fucking 1-to-1 scale? Like, fuck. You could just, like, take a vacation, like, on Earth, then. Like, in the Juetin sector. Like, if Magressi was at peace and there was no entropy or whatever, you literally could just go to the Juetin sector and just go to Earth. And then just live. You could just fucking live on Earth or whatever. Assuming it's like a 1-to-1. Assuming like it's a 1-to-1 ratio, like simulation or some shit. This also makes me wonder too, like, I guess the Juten sector really must be like above, so you actually need to fly up to get to the Juten sector then? Because like, this makes me wonder, like, if they couldn't just like, you know, if they couldn't just like bring the Oasis up into the Juten sector, since they're such good buddies with them. Instead of like the Oasis like being down on like Magressi floor. Like the Juten's up above in space, and then like Magressi is technically Earth. Magressi's on ground level, but they need to have like the sandbox barrier to make sure like they don't get attacked by like the fucking Sanctifiers, and so they don't get attacked like by Entropics or whatever. But like, it almost seems like back in chapter 1, like it arguably probably was safer in the Juten sector, since like the whole entropy thing is like more recent in the Juten sector. Like, damn. It's like, do you have to worry about the Sanctifiers up here? Because so far, like, I haven't seen, like, any mentions of any Sanctifiers at all. Like, every other sector had, like, some form of, like, Sanctifier guard. Or, like, there was, like, some higher, like, Sanctifier that was, like, watching the area. It's like, we met Faith, we met Love, we met, like, you know, like, we met, like, fucking, like, Wisdom. We met, like, we met Hesperus. We met Eos. We met, like, so much of, like, these higher tier Sanctifiers, like, in all these other sectors. And then, like, Juten's been, like, Sanctifier free. Maybe because Juten's just too big. And it's in space. So, like, they just... There's probably, like, not a lot of, like, them that can fly or whatever. Based on, like, what I remember, too, from, like, the Kiro and, like, Reverence fight, like, in her, like, own story segment, like, Reverence can't fly either. Like, Reverence is, like, an intermediate. She's an intermediate Sanctifier leader or whatever, and, like, it doesn't seem like she can fly, and I don't think Faith can fly either. Love has wings. Love has wings, and Angelus has wings, too. It's like, they were, like, one of the few Sanctifiers that could fly, but, like, that also depends on whether or not they can actually fly, like, out into, like, outer space or something. Assuming that, like, the Juten sector really is above, like, Magressi and whatever. And also, that's the leaders. Those are, like, the leaders that can fly. I don't think, like, there's much of, like, the regular Sanctifier mobs that can fly, though. Maybe the drones. I'm sure the drones have flight abilities, but, like, I don't know if the drones can just fly, like, really high, though. And, like, the Sanctifier drones are weaker. They're like, one of the more weaker mobs, too. There's also, like, the guard Sanctifier dudes, and they're stronger. But they seem like ground units, though. They don't seem like they fly or anything like that. Flight seems to be, like, of limited capability in Magressi. That's why Hubble and Fresno needed to, like, make a spaceship just to, like, get up here. I guess. Like, if we didn't have, like, this whole, like, fucking heat death entropic thing going on, like, the Juten sector seems pretty safe, or whatever. That's a good question, too. It might be, like, one of those, like, those old school, like, server rooms that you saw, like, in, like, 1900s, where, like, it fit, like, an entire fucking room or whatever. And, like, that entire room was, like, what? Like, 1 megabyte? like 5 megabytes of storage for, like, an entire room PC or some shit, you know? It might be, like, one of those, like, giant room computers. I have no idea. But yeah, that's a good question, though. Like, how big is a server room in real life? And then also remember, too, this is a backup server, too. This is supposed to be a backup of the original server, because the original server died. So that means, like, they must have, like, 2 really big server rooms then. And, like, this second server room was a backup for that. There's no time to worry about that. We need to get down there ASAP. Yeah. The spaceship enters a near-Earth orbit, and it begins to slowly decelerate. Heat death deployed. Craft orientation adjusted. Now attempting atmospheric re-entry. This also makes me wonder too. It's like, could you trap the professor like in the Jujin sector by putting him on Earth or something? It's like, would he like not be able to do anything? It's like that could be a thing that Persicara could do too. Like, after the reset and Juitin's safe again, like, if all of Oasis, like, if everybody agrees that like the professor's in danger, they're like, all right, guys, the professor's in danger. How about we just like, drug him and we stick him on a spaceship and we just send him to like fucking Earth, like in the Juitin sector, and then like we make it so that way the spaceship like it can't lift off again after that. It's a one-time thing. So like it sends a professor to like Earth and then like he's stuck there, and then like there's like a message from Persicara saying, sorry professor, we strand you on Earth in the Jujin sector because we were worried about you dying or something. And then it's like, long live the Oasis or whatever shit like that. It almost sounds like they could just turn the Earth into like Oasis, like an Oasis planet basically also. And also, now that I think about it too, considering like how realistic the simulation is for the professor, since the commander's the only human here or whatever, like, if they really could just simulate like the entire fucking solar system like this, why have they not made the Matrix yet? Like, the more I'm seeing like how much they're fitting into like this fucking server, the more I'm wondering like if they really could have just made the Matrix and like they wouldn't have to worry about like food or like not having space or something like in the real world. Because like most of the real world is living like in green zones, and then like the rest of the planet is like a red zone or like an orange zone because of radiation. Whatever is left of humanity, they could be like in little like pods or whatever, and then like that could all be in green zones. T-dolls would be regulated to like just taking care of the green zones. They could be like regulated T-doll like expeditions to get more and more like purification towers out in the red zones, so like they can slowly like bring the Earth back to like livable like areas and shit. It's like, give it like 100 years or some shit, and like they could probably get rid of most of the radiation or something, as long as humans like stop fighting each other. Like, stop all like the fucking political bullshit, you know? Considering too that like it really does seem that they could just like fucking like make food out of nothing, like in Magressi or whatever. It takes operands or whatever like that. I mean, they sure spend a lot of operands making fucking chocolate during Valentine's Day. It's like, do we got spare operands to also like do like a fireworks festival? Oh yeah, we got operands for that now. All right, cool. You just make it. We spend it on fireworks. To spend it like on fucking chocolate. They could do that. We could do that. Honestly, like, I feel like if Persicaria or if Persica would like pitch this idea of having like a fucking Matrix server for like humanity, kind of feels like they'd be a lot to go for it too. Also wouldn't have to worry either about like, I don't know, like children dying of starvation or some shit. I don't fucking know. This, honestly, like, this just seems like a really big plot hole now. And now that I'm looking at it, this seems like a much of a major plot hole. Unless it's like some Ghost in the Shell shit where like there's a legitimate reason on like why they don't do it. Because like in Ghost in the Shell, like, and I'm only saying this because of the collab, but like also I'm basing off the original anime and manga. But like there is a Matrix thing in Ghost in the Shell, and there's lots of people who are for it actually, but the reason why they don't do it is because it's a power problem actually. There's actually not a lot of power to go around in Ghost in the Shell to power such a massive server to like put everyone in. So normally like it was regulated to like rich people. Another thing they had too was that like they would have to definitely like find a way to like automate like growing food and then like tubing that food like into people's mouths or some shit or whatever. At least until people can get like digitized brains or some shit. And that's a whole nother thing in Ghost in the Shell, to like digitize people's brains. That's a whole nother can of worms. So they do justify in Ghost in the Shell like why they just couldn't like just digitize everyone. There's actually a legitimate reason there. I don't know if you could do the same legitimate reasons for like Girls Frontline though, first. Because right now, like I'm not seeing like too many downsides to Megressi. But I'm also assuming too that like the Mika writing team, they're not thinking about stuff like that though. Since Girls Frontline 2 is a thing. As well as like Codename Bakery. So like obviously Codename Bakery shows us like what awful state humanity is in too. So yeah. There's probably a good in-lore reason on it, but guess what? Mika team don't know what that reason is either. They don't know. They haven't thought that far ahead yet. So I'm just going to assume there's a reason for this. Because the commander, man, he living like a whole separate life in here. Heat shield deployed. Craft orientation adjusted. Now attempting atmospheric re-entry. Vessel descending. Gravity parameters anomalous. Craft is in balance. Correcting data and recomputing descent procedure. Oh, ah. A shrill alarm goes off, immediately followed by a spaceship beginning to do non-stop barrel rolls at a weird angle. The 3 passengers are instantly thrown to the deck. Maintaining balance is impossible. This is shaking. Is it caused by the Earth's and Moon's gravity? The rudder's so heavy. Fresnel, the change in gravity is too great. If you keep descending, the ship's going to get crushed to bits. Got it. Temporarily aborting landing procedure. Isn't there some other way for us to get to Earth? We can use a space elevator. Hubble brings us to a map. When Jewton Sector was being built, we also built a space elevator in an attempt to bypass the collapsed particle clouds. Wait, you mean to tell me that, like, they really did do, like, a one-to-one Earth simulation? Like, do you actually have to worry about, like, collapsed particle shit, like, on Earth? Damn. Like, they just made Earth. They fucking just made Earth. We should be able to descend with the help of space elevator. As for its location, it's in Gabon? That's the best plan we have for now. Fresnel, try to stabilize the vessel, or return to space to find the space elevator. Got it. This makes me wonder, like, what a fucking, like, 1 petabyte USB stick might cost in the future. Can you imagine, like, going to the fucking store, and if I account for inflation, you can get, like, a 1 petabyte flash drive for, like, $80 in the future. That sounds like a fucking steal, man. a one petabyte flash drive. I could fit that shit. I could fit all my fucking, like, games and anime on that. That'd probably be good enough for me for life right now. How much is a hologram? Would a hologram be like 20 terabytes or some shit? A basic hologram of yourself or something? I don't fucking know. This kind of reminds me of how like old school JPEGs used to be like 30 kilobytes or some shit, maybe 5 kilobytes. And now we have like pictures. We have like PNG pictures that are like or 5 to 10 megabytes or whatever. And 5 to 10 megabytes is considered a lot or whatever for a picture. A hologram picture in the future is gonna be like fucking 1 gigabyte or some shit, you know? 1 petabyte stick is the RAM of a T-doll or something? I know, right? Fresno struggles to her feet and grabs control sticks, then pulls back hard on them, causing the vessel to suddenly ascend and return to space once more. Fresno, do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll, Fresno. If I remember right, I think I remember reading like a long time ago from like professional like jet fighters that like barrel rolls almost serve no purpose. Like there's such a small like list of like reasons why you'd want to do a barrel roll in real life, and like it's a very small list. Like you would almost never do a barrel roll like in any real scenario. Basically, it's basically made for shows. You do barrel rolls to show off, basically. Wow. After a brief period of vertigo, the vessel narrowly evades a sinister-looking cannon shell. Enemy attack? But why? After finally stabilizing the ship, Fresno looks out the window towards Jupiter. An eldritch purple comet has appeared in the distance. Their violeted tails and screeching entropic hordes that surround them are currently headed towards Earth. What? What's that comet doing here? Could it be that Yuan and the others are... It's just one comet. I doubt the Jovian ring world is falling. Hubble, Fresno, you guys heard the space elevator. You guys head to the space elevator ASAP. Ringhan slowly undoes her safety belt. Ringhan, you... Prepare to open the hatch, Fresno. As a Takunaut, I need to do everything I can to ensure you reach Earth safely. Ringhan! Zanu entrusted you with the task of resetting Juitan Sector, so you need to finish it with your own hands. No dropping out halfway. Yeah, I'll complete the mission with you. Beep beep. Yep, let's go, Lu Jing. Ringhan winks confidently at Hubble, then turns away, puts on her helmet, and slips into her exo. O2 content, check. Propellant, check. Thermal insulation, check. All green. Fresno, open the hatch. Alright, so, like, is this what a make-believe space elevator looks like? I guess so. There's a lot of designs for space elevators, but we haven't made one yet, though. Fresno opens a hatch to spaceship's hold. Beyond it lies an endless starry void. Ringhan takes a deep breath. I think I remember something about, like, a United Nations talk about a space elevator, and I think one thing... There's two. There's, like, two things that I think, like, a lot of countries kept fighting over. It's, like, where are we gonna have it? Like, who owns a space elevator? And, like, I think, like, the world leaders, like, kept arguing about it. And so, like, well, like, if we put it, like, in any country, they should own it. But then, like, the other people were like, no, like, the space elevator is supposed to belong to everyone or some shit. And it's like, yeah, but, like, if we put it, like, in Russia, it belongs to Russia. If we put it in America, it belongs to America or whatever like that. There's a lot of argument about that. And then, like, the second argument for a space elevator was like, okay, question. What happens if, like, a terrorist group takes over the space elevator? Like, what the fuck happens then, you know? Those are, like, two legitimate questions on, like, why we don't have a space elevator. Like, number one, terrorist attacks. And then number two, like who owns it? Like, who owns the space elevator? It's really easy to say, like, oh, like, you know, no one should own it. But then it's like, okay, yeah, but then, like, what about building it, though? Like, do we just take scientists from, like, all over the world just to build it and shit? Like, who's gonna pay for it? Who's gonna pay for a space elevator, you know? It's gotta be, like, a fucking, like, joint operation by everybody or some shit. And, like, that was, like, something they couldn't agree on. Because theoretically, we can make it. Theoretically, we can make a space elevator right now. But we just don't. Because, like, the United Nations just couldn't agree on, like, how they would get it working or something. Like, the logistics of, like, making a space elevator. It's like, if any country spends more money than the other countries, then, like, obviously they should own it or something. Or whatever, you know? Like, if America spent the most money to make the space elevator, or, like, if Russia spent the most money to make the space elevator or something. And then it's all, like, Exactly, a single country wouldn't be able to make it. You really would need, like, it basically would need to be, like, an Earth, like, cooperative project, basically. Yeah. But there's too much politics. Yeah, there's just a lot of politics that's, like, going on into it, though. That's also, like, another thing, too, that, like, people also speculate is gonna happen to the moon one day. It's like, who owns the moon? Who owns the moon? It's like, at first, it'll be, like, the United Earth Nations or whatever. We're gonna have to add the word Earth to that. The United Earth Nation. But then, like, someday in the future, there's gonna be a bunch of moon people. And then the moon people are gonna be like, no, we own the moon, because we were born. We were born on the moon, so we should own it, or whatever like that. It's gonna be fucking Gundam. It's literally gonna be fucking Gundam all over again. It's gonna be fucking space people versus Earth people. It's gonna be just, that's what's gonna happen. Mars too. Like the very first colony on Mars, you know, like, it's probably gonna be either USA or Russia or something. Probably. Because, like, those two have, like, really big, like, space programs or whatever. But then, like... I know China's also trying to get, like, a really big space program, too. But it's like, oh my god, who owns Mars? Who owns fucking Mars and shit? Like, people are worried about, like, who owns, like, the fucking planet or whatever. And then it's cut to, like, 1,000 years in the future. There's gonna be a fucking Mars and Earth war. Mars versus Earth. That's gonna happen. We're gonna have fucking spacesuits and it's gonna be fucking Gundams and shit in the future. The 100-year war. It's gonna be just like the animes. 100-year war. In the future, people are literally gonna be looking at, like, Mobile Suit Gundam as a fucking history lesson. They're gonna be like, alright guys, here's an anime called Mobile Suit Gundam, made like in fucking 1978 or some shit. It's like, guys, we can use this anime to tell us how to do the war. It's like, are you sure? This is a really old anime, bro. It's like, no, we can use it. We can use it. It's gonna be like the year fucking 3000 or some shit. Are people still gonna watch fucking Dragon Ball Z in the future? It's gonna be the year 3000 and Dragon Ball Z is still gonna be a thing. They're gonna fucking do like another goddamn HD remake of Dragon Ball Z. In holograms. It's gonna be Dragon Ball Z in hologram form. Fresno opens the hatch to the spaceship's hold. Beyond it lies an endless starry void. Ringhan takes a deep breath. Phew! Takanat Ringhan launching. The number of entropics coming from Jovian space stretches as far as the eye can see, and they're already trailing the ship's path to the vicinity of Earth. Hello, boys. I'm back. As usual, taste my Hellbore cannon. Alright. Oh, it's a defense stage. I love these stages. I love these stages. I hate them. These stages give me cancer. If you were to tell me that like a fucking like AI scientist and a fucking marching band T-doll would be like the best pair ever, I wouldn't believe you. These two have nothing in common. They really do have nothing in common. They have no lore. These two have no lore reason to like even like be friends or anything like that. Fucking AI administrator and marching band doll. The marching band doll actually has been in the real world, and then like Turian's probably never been in the real world. Like the most like interaction Turian probably had with the real world is like a fucking chat box with like her scientist or something. She probably doesn't have a T-doll body. It'd probably be like a very weird sensation for like any of like the AI agents to like get a T-doll body for the first time. And then it's like, hey, like I can't feel operands or whatever like that. And then like they had to be told there's no such thing as operands. Like you in the real world, there's no operands out here. That's not a thing. There's no magic. There's no magic in the real world. It also kind of seems that like most agents can float a little bit whenever they use operands. Like they can't fly, but a lot of them can float. And they're gonna have to give that up too. Damn, blue HP enemies suck. Oh yeah, Warrior, that'll work. Get Lind in here for all the blue HP bullshit. If I remember right, I think people are saying that, like, Lynn's been power crept a little bit. Lynn's not as good as she used to be. She's still decent, but she's not that good now. Especially with, like, all the new AIs, all the new Alma and Scriptas we've been getting. I like seeing Lynn, like, teleport, like, one end of the map to the other. Their ultimate. Sniper 416, get out here. I haven't had to spend money on that. Usually, like, I get pretty unlucky, so like I gotta spend money to like get a new character because they keep giving me the same class. It's like first time, here's a specialist. Okay. Second time, here's another specialist. Okay. Third time, here's another specialist. Like they keep giving me like the same bullshit, so like I gotta spend money to like not do the same thing. I don't think there's even a reason to even have a guard in this whole, like, tower defense thing. Guards seem like they don't do a whole lot for me. Alright, 416, you're in 3 fucking games. I better hear you talk about, like, fucking Project NeuroCloud and GFL 2. You're in 3 games, man. I want to hear, like, 416 talk about, like, her time with the Commander Professor. It's like, you remember when we spent like 5 fucking years in Magressi? It was like 5 days in real life, but it was like 5 years in there though. It's like, remember when I used to be an idol? Remember the whole idol bullshit? That's canon, man. That's canon. It's in there, so like that means it must be canon. 416 was an idol, along with like V and like Nanaka and shit. And, like, fucking Undini. 416 was singing. She was singing like an idol. Yo, I better see a fucking idol costume in Girls Frontline 2. Just for 416. I want to see that. They better make it fucking happen. Oh yeah, Lynn just deletes enemies with blue HP. Love it. Fucking love it. It's funny that like Ring Han's ultimate has her like in the exact same pose as like her like default art is. She has like her back arch and everything. $18 stages? God, this is taking forever. Oh, I assume Karisu would be good here too. Because Karisu makes dummies. Yeah, Karisu would be good. I mean, like, I'm already good enough, though. $17 out of 18. Man, the combat really doesn't look that good when you turn off all the special effects. It's smoother, though. Duotin sector at the space elevator. The flames of war sparkle above the top of the elevator. Beep beep. Hellbore cannon, fire! Ringhan mounts a fighting retreat. She takes out dozens of entropics with a shot from her Hellbore cannon, but it's just a drop in the bucket compared to the incoming flood of enemies. Ringhan, we need to get to the space elevator's cargo dock. Fresno's planning on directly parking the spaceship inside, so it'll take us down to Earth along with the ship. Got it, I'll cover you. Ringhan works her controls and fires a Hellbore cannon shot into the air to lure more entropics over to her. An entropizing shot hits Ringhan's exo in the back, wrecking a cluster of thrusters. Ringhan! Don't worry about me. Go prepare for the transfer. Leave those entropics to me. Ringhan extends a mechanical arm and grabs an entropic that was trying to approach the spaceship, then tosses it away. I need to think of some other way. That's right. The station's got to have one of those. Ringhan changes directions to lure the entropics off. As she fires a string of bullets, she activates her terminal scanning function. Where is it? Come on. Beep beep. Found it! Ringhan flies towards a particular spot on the space station. The entropic hordes, not knowing Ringhan's plan, give chase without hesitation. Reverse thrusters! Emergency stop! Ringhan slams on the brakes for her exo and reaches a mechanical arm to grab a piece of equipment on the space station. Come on, turn! She throws her port thrusters into full throttle and forcibly wrenches the nearby cannon over to point at the entropic hordes. Positron cannon, aim shot. Don't you dare miss. Hiss! A blinding beam of light erupts from the cannon and strikes the entropics, blowing them into thick purple smoke that lingers in vacuum. Oh! You could forget... You guys can forget a real space elevator having a fucking laser gun on it. I kind of feel like that'd be a political nightmare. It's like, what if those filthy Americans go on that laser and they shoot my country or some shit, you know? Like, damn. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way a space elevator would be allowed to have a laser gun on it. And then, again, terrorist. So, like, it'd also be a thing, too, like, terrorists could, like, take control of the space elevator, knowing that there's a fucking laser gun on it, and then it's like, hey, fucking, like, United Earth bitches, I belong to the fucking Mandarin from Iron Man or some shit, and, I got the space laser. Make me king of the world, otherwise I'm gonna start shooting capital cities or some shit, you know? That would be such a terrorist thing to do. Yeah, the space elevator would not be allowed to have a fucking space cannon on it. Too much trouble. That takes care of the first wave, but the endless stream of approaching purple dots in the radar leaves Ringhan unable to relax. And then there's that entropic comet approaching. Hubble, Fresno, how are things? The space elevator has been locked down, so we can't start it up without a cipher key. We sent the program to Anna, so she could help us crack it. Got it. Ringhan sweeps a positron cannon and her exo guns over the enemy, preventing them from approaching. A barrage of shells flies towards Ringhan from the entropics. Ringhan is about to pull on her control stick to evade them. No, they're not aiming at me. They're going for the space elevator. Oh no. Beams and bullets weave into the lattice of firepower, attempting to stop the barrage, but one single shell still gets through. A blinding explosion erupts behind Ringhan, and part of the space station is reduced to twisted wreckage amidst a cloud of dark purple smoke. Hubble! How's the space elevator? The space station's terminus elevator has been hit. Part of the structure was destroyed. The main body of the elevator is fine for now, but... Beep beep. Ringhan, Jupiter. Ringhan looks at the image at Hubble Center. An eerie purple glow is now visible around Jupiter. Silent despair spreads through everyone's cores. They can't land on Earth. The space elevator's been locked down, and the entropic comets just keep coming. And in front of them, one such entropic comet is endlessly spawning entropic creatures. There seems to be a purple radiance gathering around it. Ah, you're so damn persistent. Get away from the space elevator already. Ringhan raises the charged positron cannon, and the beam of light pierces the shell and launches and blasts through the comet. The massive comet is reduced to scattered debris by the beam, and vast quantities of entropics emerge from among the rubble. Warning! Positron cannon overloaded. Damn it! Hubble, Fresnel, I'm going to buy you some time. Ringhan looks into the distance. The comet is now in pieces, but the entropics born from it are still heading towards Earth. How can she stop those entropics? And even if she wipes them all out, how can she deal with the unending flow of the comets following them? Things are only going to get worse if I don't do something, even if it's just a silver hope. I need to fight for it. Rather than just standing around here, I should get a move on and buy us some time. Beep beep. Lu Jing, what's the matter? On the radar, the endless stream of purple dots heading from Jupiter to Earth has suddenly stopped moving. The comets have stopped? No, they were intercepted. The Jovian ringworld has intercepted the bulk of the comets. Ringhan looks towards Jupiter, and something seems to break inside her heart with a crack. The ringworld. Yuan. Oh, I'm at 15. I guess I should use one of these. I'm already at maxed. Gotta keep it below maxed. Challenge keys? Nah, I'll just keep it at normal. I'll do that off stream. I'll keep it easy on myself. Alright, can I auto this? Honestly, like, I kind of don't even need to worry about doing challenge keys anymore, just because, like, I'm practically at max anyway. Like, 300 is the max. So, like, I'm so close to it. If I, like, go back and just redo a couple of, like, the challenge missions, like, at the start of the event, I'll be at 300 already. I need to be forced to use my challenge keys. Supposedly, there's also a strategy with 416 where like you can like 416 is also like just as good like in the back line because 416 stats are so high that like she basically like gives just a lot when she's on like the back tiles. So 416 is good in both the front line and the back line. That's pretty fucking busted. Yeah, 416 is just hella busted. She's just so good. She's good at everything. She's even good as a bench warmer. That's how good 416 is. Supposedly, 416 is so good as a bench warmer that like, if you're having problems with the stage, you could use like your second best sniper and then like put 416 in the back line so she can like buff the sniper. And then like, it's basically like you have 416 on the front line anyway. You double it up on stats, basically. That's how good she is. There's definitely a 416 simp somewhere in Mika. And his plan is to make 416 OP in all stages. Hey, it's Kana. I'm fighting against Space Kana. And goodbye, Eos. I might die here. I might need to restart. I almost won that. I almost won that with like no, without doing anything. All right, I can fix this. I can fix this. Oh, I can't go there. All right, so Kana wants to go where there's like the most amount of people. I didn't bring any warriors with me because I didn't think I'd be fighting against Kana. I did not bring any warriors with me. Might be a little bit of a problem. We might have a slight problem here. Yep, and then 416's dead. Yep. Kind of saw that coming. I didn't think I'd be fighting against fucking Kana. God damn it. I did not see this coming. I just brought like a mismatch of all snipers because I didn't think this would be important. God damn it. I literally like do not have a second tank. I don't have a second tank other than, I have no second tank. I don't have a second tank at all. God damn it. I kind of fucked this up. I kind of fucked this up. Yep, saw that coming. Even if I were to like kill Kana like right off the bat, it's like I still have the fucking mobs to deal with. Okay, to be fair, it didn't take me that long to get here. Alright. But now I know I'm fighting against Kana. I can actually make a team for her. God damn it, girl. You're supposed to be dead. You're supposed to be dead. What are you doing here? Alright, puzzle. Then, like, just in case, I'll bring Lynn back here. Okay, this should do it. This should do it. I know how Kana works. I was just ill-prepared for it. I know how she works. What the? Did I misclick? I misclicked. Alright, I guess I had to manually play. I gotta manually play right now.
私の歌を聴け。当然ね。
I'd rather take this one, actually.
きらめく星々の線。どう？
You're supposed to put EOS like in a in like an ultimate spammer team, but like I don't have Luna, so EOS works just as well by herself. But you're supposed to use her in an ult spammy team. It's supposed to be like Choco, Alma Inscripted Choco, Luna, EOS, and I think Abigail. I think Abigail's supposed to be good for that team too. Alright, this time I have a fucking ult meter, like for Kana, to spam at the very start. I would like to enter the train area, please. Alright, let's see. Anything good? Anything good? No. The game keeps giving me, like, this exact same thing. I'm just gonna take it so it stops offering it to me. Nope. Alright, I'm more prepared for Kana this time. I'm way more prepared for Kana. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Wrong one. I kind of used my meter a little bit too late there, but we're fine this time. How annoying! Kana has this fucking like 360 sweep around her. There's no safe spot around Kana other than like being on the opposite side of the map. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually had to pay attention now. I'm being forced to play the game. Oh, I want that. I want the purple. I want the purple zone. I want the purple. It's like, I just take the purple because I just want, like, the positive protocol. It's like, sometimes the positive protocol does nothing for me, but, like, I like to gamble on that positive protocol doing something. That'll work. That does something. I hate it when, like, the game gives me, like, Emotep's, like, stupid-ass ultimate. It's like, the fuck am I supposed to do with Emotep's ultimate? It's like, I wouldn't mind, like, Emotep's ultimate if it didn't put your character to sleep. Like, putting your character to sleep is, like, so annoying. All right, I should be massively prepared for Kana. Spam it! Spam it all! Spam it all! It's like, now I feel like I over-prepared. Because, like, the first Kana was hard. And then the second Kana, she kind of, like, died instantly. Now I feel like I just over-prepared for that fight. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright. Another one? Alright, Dust to Dust. Oh god, I don't like the title of this. Joy and sorrow are hidden in the hearts. They are smaller than specks of dust and lighter than a feather. Yet they shine brighter than the stars and enrich the life that has them. Oh, I don't like that. Sounds very ominous. Jewton Sector, aboard the flagship of the Jovian Ringworld fleets. The remaining teams are on low and are putting up stiff resistance. Current interposition rate 75%. The Ringworld is heavily engaged. Remaining operants at 20%. Agent loss at 75%. Commander Gagarin has... Belka's body trembles slightly as he mentioned Gagarin's... has perished. The command center has fallen, and the Ringworld's in dire straits. Lord Yuan. The comet will eventually break through the Ringworld's blockade. We can't keep this up. Their lines are disintegrating, and his friends are dying. Ill news keeps streaming in from the front, constantly reminding Yuan of the cruelty of this matter. I thought it all stemmed from those HD entropics, but in the end, I forgot that it was just a function of the sector's base layer, logic, and all the planets were the source of the heat death. We've used up about all the trump cards we have. Yuan's gaze is focused on the monitor, and he stares at the continually spreading purple there is. What's the status of the new magnetic shield and the operant barrier generators? They're in place, but the entropics are keeping us from deploying the barrier. On the map, the blockade array is riddled with holes. The ship is dead silent, and there's a look of sorrow on the faces of the bridge agents. Intro, pies. Eat, death. Lord Yuan, Jewton, in your hands. Gagarin's last word comes to Yuan's mind. He chose to pin his last hopes on me, even though he knew there was nothing I could do. For the sake of our fallen comrades, we cannot let the fires of Jewton Sector die out. Lord Yuan, no, we have an idea. If the Ringworld is going to be entropized, then why not fight to the death rather than await our fate? We are all prepared to give up everything to keep the flame burning. It might be a foolish course of action, but it is the last act of faith for all the agents of the Jewton Sector. Wait, are you going to? Since we can't deploy the blockade because of the entropization, then we just have to use the Ringworld to clear our path. There are still around 50 or so operational power plants around the Ringworld. They contain a massive amount of operands, enough to instantly destroy the Jovian entropics if we set them off. Once we trigger them, you must immediately deploy the barrier and re-establish the blockade array. Please give the order to have all the satellites within the Ringworld airspace ram Jupiter to prevent the entropy from spreading. Belka. Please give the order. Please give the order. Please give the order. I wonder if, like, the three-headed agent, like, has, like, any, like... I wonder if there's actually, like, any good reason to have a three-headed agent. It's like, I'd rather just have three separate agents than just a three-headed agent. I don't know, like... I don't know, like, what the... I don't know if there's anything that would come from that. It's kind of like my other rant I had before about having, like, a fat robot. Is there any advantage to having a fat robot? Is there any advantage to having, like, a three-headed robot? These hardened veterans look upon Yurin with sincere gazes, awaiting their responses. They know exactly what's in store for them, yet none of them have chosen to back out. Unwilling to meekly submit to their fate, they have chosen to struggle against the mightiest force in the universe. Aye. The massive crushing pressure makes Yuan feel like his body is frozen up. Ever since Belka was born in Juitin, I knew this would be my home forever. That's a good question if it has a single line. Or actually, maybe it's for multitasking. So it could be 3 separate minds put together, but like now they could like communicate with each other, so they can like multitask on like a singular thing or whatever. As long as they have multiple arms. It's like if it's 3 heads, I don't know, give them like 6 arms, give them like 4 or 5 arms or something. As long as they can do multiple things at once. Whether an agent or as dust, debris, or wreckage, thank you for protecting this place to the very end, Lord Yuang. So please give the order to have all the satellites within the ringward airspace ram Jupiter to prevent the entropy from spreading. As the screen fills with communication requests and text messages, Yuan braces himself on his armrests and forces himself to his feet. Yeah, the hot girls are supposed to be like, they're supposed to be like a hive mind kind of thing. But the hot girls do have 3 separate bodies, though. I do remember that, like, the hot girls do have, like, some form of autonomy, like, if they're separated. But, like, they have, like an instinct to, like, always want to be near each other. He bows to all the fighters on the screen and all the agents on the battleship around him. And then he speaks in a choked voice. Belka, I'm counting on you. All agents of the Juitin sector, I'm counting on you. All fleets, activate all stellar engines on engaged moons. Change orbital trajectory towards your target is Jupiter. Area A ringward garrison troops, deploy the barrier and have all high-energy plants adjust orbits downwards to strike Jupiter at full speed. All remaining armored units will stay near the flagship and devote all your efforts to holding off the entropic comets. Yes, sir! I assume that's what text 40 size is supposed to look like. Since like the other line says text 40, but then like it wasn't like a backslash, so it wasn't text 40 size. I assume that's what 40 size looks like. Ringworld and the Energy Plant Data Monitoring Center. Power Plant 12 is now operating at maximum output. Power Plant 5's machinery is showing operational abnormalities. We need to send a repair crew to fix it. All logistics team members were killed after the entropic comets made ringfall. We currently lack anyone who can make the necessary repairs. We can't abandon Power Plant 5. Belka? Belka repaired this machinery before when he was at Hammer Station by himself. This is a piece of cake for me. How much longer until the power plant orbital drop? Half an hour. The movement of the satellites would trigger a gravitational shift, and the ring world would be ramming the bulk of the Jovian entropics by itself to minimize the chances of mishaps. The repairs need to be finished in half an hour's time. Belka understands. Escorted by his agent comrades, Belka successfully reaches Power Plant 5. With the ringward shields down, the dark purple sky once again comes into view. The ringward will fall soon without the shields protected. Then Belka would just have to work faster. Belka inserts a mechanical arm into a slot and connects to the power plant's electrical grid. Voltage stable, circuits normal, there shouldn't be any problems with generation. However, the turbine won't turn. Is there a problem with the transmission? Belka moves behind the turbine and opens the gearbox. A rusty, broken gear catches his attention. Found it. This is probably the source of the problem. A model BV1392 high-precision gear. Power Plant 5 was completed earlier on, so it would use an old-fashioned part like this one. There should be a spare for it in the workshop. I'll go look for it. Just as the agent finishes, the power plant ceiling is torn apart by a cometary impact, filling the plant interior with smoke and dust. As the comet breaks apart, entropic creatures swarm out from the debris, glaring viciously at the two agents in front of them. Scree! The workshop! It was smashed by the comet. Belka, behind you. The hardened tentacle stabbed towards Belka. who frantically dodges backwards and bumps into the turbine behind him. The laser aiming dot moves past Belka's body, steadily driving back the tentacle and missing him. Hey, get away from Belka! The provocation seems to anger the entropic menacing Belka, and it switches targets, hissing as it lunges towards the other agent. 7 minutes until they drop the energy ring. We don't have the necessary parts. I need to think of something else. The surrounding entropics begin to disperse. Some of them heal Belka and charge at him. The agent does his best to hold off the entropics with a hail of gunfire. The huge power drain from the continuous firing causes its charge to plummet, and the weapon system begins to sound an alert. Weapon power insufficient. Please replenish. Belka, what are you doing? Get away! Belka has his back to the agent and is fiddling with something. He pays no attention to the mob of entropics coming up from behind. Operant laser, fire! The agent pulls his trigger again and again. However, the gun does not emit anything more powerful than a faint glow. Shoot! Damn it! Insufficient. Please recharge. Belka's hand stops over the turbine gearbox. The damaged gear has been replaced by a good one, while his own parts are scattered below the gearbox. Motive, gear, Belka, remembered. Model, BV-139, high, precision gear, used in our cores. He took his core? He took his fucking core to repair the power plant. Oh my god. Dismantling all the key components inside himself to retrieve the gear in his core has extracted a heavy toll on Belka. His motor systems are essentially paralyzed, and his vocalizer modules have been gravely damaged. Belka! Activate turbine. The entropic hones in on the now immobile Belka, using its hardened tentacle tips to cleave Belka's ruined body in two. It's a video message from Belka. Would you like to see it? Put it through. Belka is dead, Lord Yuan. Please start the stellar engine now. Hurry. The cometary entropics are letting en masse. If you don't start them now, many power plants will be entropized. The agent in the transmission is drenched in a grout of liquid entropy, which immediately starts eating away at his body and destabilizing the signal. Lord Yuan, please start the stellar engines now! Do it now! Lord! Hurry! The signal is cut off as the entropization grows more intense. Now dropping ringward energy ring. Yuan shouts those words through gritted teeth, as though it is his response to Belka. As Yuan gives the word, the prepared energy ring detaches from the greater mass of the ring world. As the Earth shakes, ships after ship exits the spaceports. Energy ring has descended to target position. Fire all stellar engines. Target Jupiter. The tremendous thrust of stellar engines shakes the ground, collapsing foundations and destroying buildings. A once idyllic picture of civilization gradually distorts and rushes towards the entropized Jupiter with a mighty roar. A non-stop series of power plant explosion releases a tremendous amount of energy that burns all the surrounding entropics to ash. The churning storms on Jupiter's surface are scattered by the impact, leaving a massive void in the upper atmosphere and drowning the spreading entropic horde in the ringworld's wreckage. They have done it. No matter the cost, no matter the losses, all the sacrifice for the sake of accomplishing their goal. All surviving vessels, regroup around the flagship. Our friends have given us the best cover they could. It's time to finish this. The surviving vessels from the various planetary systems fly towards the flagship, taking a densely packed formation to stop the comets heading towards Earth. All ships, set weapons to max output. Ready, fire! The flagship is advancing. I'll seal the breach in the blockade. All-encompassing flurry of beams destroying the comets trapped within the blockade array. Lord Yuan, large numbers of high-speed comets at 5 o'clock. Battleships 8766 and 0080 were hit by comets, and there are gaps in the formation. The comets that the agent is talking about are not coming in from front of the formation, but from below, where they are vulnerable. Battleship 79 is taking an engine hit, and they're drifting. The comets are trying to break through the encirclements. A series of constant crests comes up on the monitor, and Yuan immediately puts it through. Lord Yuan, this is the captain of Battleship 79, requesting permission to take extreme measures to intercept the comets. Battleship 8766 is prepared to take the comets down with us. 80's portside superstructure is about to give way, but we can control our facing, so we can eliminate the enemy with precision. You. Lord Yuan, please allow us to be reborn in the new Juitan sector. For Juitan sector. For Juitan sector. For Juitan sector. The three captains pulled down on their throttles, and their engines pushed them forward with tremendous force, taking the three battleships into the heart of the cometary cluster. The brilliant light and smoke of their detonation obscure everyone's vision as a tremendous amount of energy is liberated, instantly ripping the comet apart. The massive explosion is a final sacrifice that the agents of each warship make to ensure their hope endures. Large quantities of comet detected at 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock of the vessel. Please evade. Evade? Like hell I will. Hellbore cannon, fire! A high energy beam destroys one comet, but countless more sweep past it. The flagship shakes under the repeated impacts. One such hit causes Yuan to fall from his wheelchair. Flagship operant barriers are down. Status report on blockade array reactivation. 65% of operant barrier generators are connected to the magnetic field. Keep going. Yuan hoists himself back up and returns to the control terminal. On a screen, countless little dots join together one by one, forming the blockade array anew. Ugh. Warning, vessel is straying from assigned course. Vessel straying from assigned course. Hang in there. You got to hang in there. Lord Yuan, look out! A massive enterprising shell is headed straight for the flagship's bridge. The point defense guns cannot stop this killing star. Smoke fills the air, and the bridge of Juitan Sector's mightiest warship suddenly collapses. Lord Yuan! Lord Yuan! A piece of debris from the ruined bridge is buried deep in Yuan's chest. Operants gush non-stop from the wound. Yo, in his chest! Yo, he got stabbed, basically. Lord Yuan! Oh no, he's transparent. I can see through him. That's always a bad sign when you can see through the agents. Never mind me. Keep intercepting those comments. Yuan looks in front of him, at many agents who block the enterprise's shell for him with their bodies. Their bodies are unrecognizable messes, while Yuan has to bite back the pain as he shoves their corpses aside to get back to his control terminal. Lord Yuan, please fall back. We'll take. All ships. Establish firing arcs here. We're almost there. We've nearly finished joining up the blockade away. A massive comet once again breaks through the interception fire and falls towards the blockade away. As Yuan sees the comet, the corner of his mouth turns up slightly. The blockade array is 99.9 complete. So you're the last obstacle then. Attention! All surviving forces of the Jovian Ringworld. This is my final order. Endure, so the embers of hope may endure with you. Despair last, but for a moment, while hope is everlasting. Yuan reaches out and hits the activation button before him. The flagship's engines slowly stir as it turns to face the comet. The massive comet blots out the sunlight, drawing the ship in its gigantic shadow. All ahead, full! The battleship accelerates further, and the volcanoes and fissures on the comet's crust are clearly visible through the bridge windows, practically within arm's reach. Faster! The battleship crashes into the comet, and the ship instantly explodes. Faster! As Yuan, as long as the stars shine upon us, we shall be reunited in Juitan. Yuan turns and reaches his fist towards Earth. Yo, that was like a good 3 seconds. Like before, like it went to the next dialogue box. A blinding white light fills his vision. The bridge and everything within it is annihilated, leaving nothing behind. The comets cannot resist the power of inertia, and they crumble as the moon strikes them. The drifting scraps that remain fall into Jupiter's atmosphere, where they are ground into dust by the planet's gravity. Damn, bro! Oh, we playing,
朝飯前ね。
I'm playing fucking Vampire Survivor again. Alright. Oh, I start off with money this time. Cool. Oh, these are all good. Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, only 2 stages. Oh. No wonder I start off with money. Oh, just 2 stages, huh? Juitin sector at the space elevator. Fresnel, how's the changeover going? The battle is still raging around the space elevator, with Ringhon holding position beside it. With all her firepower, her guns constantly firing. Although the comet has been destroyed, the entropic on its fragments are still present in shocking numbers. Anna's already deciphered the data. All we need to do now is receive it. Our progress is currently at 50%. Get away from the space elevator. The space elevator's barrier is beginning to crack. At this rate, we can't go on like this. I don't know what Yuan did to hold the battle lines together, but I'm sure he won't be able to delay them for long. Louising, I need more bullets. Beep beep. Down to the last magazine, huh? Warning about her ammo levels, operant levels, and exostructure integrity fill her command console. Ringhon looks at the distant piece of debris. It's the last remaining fragment of the comet. A faint alert suddenly sounds. Ringhon turns to look towards faraway Jupiter, as though she's received some kind of premonition. Juitin flagship signal lost. What? Ringhon looks at her display. The signal representing the ring word slowly dims, then vanishes. Yuan. You kept saying I was too impulsive, but the truth is you weren't any better yourself. Ringhon, Yuan's... Never mind that. Hurry up and finish the changeover. Hubble. Ringhon, what are you doing? Before Ringhon can speak, Hubble can already sense that something's wrong with her. Looks like I won't be able to finish the mission in person. Sorry about that. Make sure you help me save Juitin sector. I know you guys can do it. As Hubble looks at the forced smile on Ringhon's face, her heart turns bitter. Yes, we will. Louising, go with Hubble and Fresnel. Deet deet. Really? I see. Thank you, Louising. Oh my god, he says something else. He said deet instead of beat this time. Ringhon closes her hands around the exo controls and slowly rises. She has 1 magazine left. There are numerous enemies, and the fragments of the comet hang menacing in space. Ringhon pushes a control stick forward, and once again, she soars through space like a shooting star, darting between the purple and tropic comets. Dark purple silhouettes rest past her, but Ringhon has locked into her target and she pulls the trigger. Hailbore cannon, fire! An intense beam of light pierces the comet, crashing the spaceship, blowing it into smithereens. The remains transform into entropic creatures and turns on Ringhon instead. Point defense guns, lock into the entropics and fire. Yeah! The entropics are quickly mowed down by Ringhon's barrage of fire. As her last magazine runs dry, Ringhon continues swinging her sword as she thrusts into the face of the entropic attack until she arrives in front of the commentary fragment. Since I'm out of ammo, there's only one thing I can do. Thruster output to maximum. Remove all limiters. Ignore all overlord warnings. She viciously slams her control stick forward, and her exo shoots towards the comet like a silver arrow. The exo spreads its arms and directly takes the force of the comet's impact on its frame. You're nothing but a big chunk of rock, aren't you? I'll just throw you back. The title of Juitin sector's Ace Takonaut isn't for show. With the comet chunk firmly in her grip, Ringhon muscles it in the direction of Mars and boosts towards it at top speed. The parts touching the comet are infected by the entropy and turn purple. With that, her arms completely cease to function. The nearby entropics seem to realize what Ringhon has in mind and hurry over to stop her. However, a little figure stands in their way. Beep beep. As his parts scatter through the cosmos, little Lu Xing has only managed to buy Ringhan a moment. Lu Xing. Divert all operants of thruster systems. Ringhan pushes her control stick forward as far as it'll go. It breaks with a loud crack. However, the incoming fragment and finally changes direction, heading out into the endless depths of space where Ringhan Exo is pushing it. System Command 2887. I'll leave Julian in section to you, Hubble. Ringhan reflexively reaches out towards the void. In her daze, you can almost see a familiar face. Oh, snap! Oh no, he's transparent too. That's the ghost. Oh no. Ah. The final fist bump. These two have been fist bumping like the entire event too. Yuan. Looks like in the end, we both gave the same answer. We both fought to the very end. It must have been hard, Ringhan. It must have been hard, Ringhan. It's so cold. A space oasis cold? Still, the embers of hope will endure, right, partner? As long as the stars shine upon us, we shall be reunited in Juiton. Yeah. I believe we'll meet again in Juiton someday. A brilliant flare of operants blossoms in the void. As the remains slowly fall, the white star finally burns itself out beside the space elevator. I knew it! I knew it was gonna end on Earth. Because I was like, we went through all the other planets, and then like, now there's Earth. Hey, wait, did the effects change? Fuck, I gotta turn on the effects just to look at it now. I gotta turn on everything. Oh, this wasn't here before. Like this extra like debris and shit. Oh no! He's oh no, he's all staticky. He's not here anymore because he's dead. Oh, it did change. It did. Oh wow. Yeah, like all the planets, they look different too. Oh my god, she's also transparent. He's all staticky and shit. Oh my god. Yeah, like all the planets now, like they're all like faded. Oh wow. Like Earth, you can still see Earth looks the same. Damn. Okay, I definitely don't need the fucking outlines. I could turn that off. Alright, disable the outlines. I actually kind of prefer with the outlines anyway. And I don't really need the dynamic shadows. I'll keep everything else on. All that on. I only have one more fight to go through. I can handle a little lag. So now we end on the Oasis dolls. So now it's just Hubble. It's just Hubble and Fresnel now. Everyone else is dead. Like every Juiton sector agent is dead. It's just these two. The entropic attack, it stopped. Hubble, did Ringhan? Oh wow, you could see Fresnel and Hubble are crying. You could see that they're both crying. Now Fresnel, we need to complete the changeover right away. Hubble bites back her grief and enters the final lines of the decryption program into the control terminal. Decryption successful. Hubble, hold on tight. Fresnel takes the helm of the spaceship and throws it into a tight turn to lose the pursuing entropics behind her. Then she changes direction again and heads for the space elevator. Verifying craft model. Searching database. Identity confirmed. Welcome to Juatin's Gabon Expandable Base Space Elevator. The top deck of the space elevator opens, allowing the ship to enter. The dawn breaks. We did it, Fresno. We did it. At such a high cost, we finally... Fresno exhales heavily, as though a great weight has been lifted from her shoulders. Then she collapses into her chair, quietly watching as the space elevator draws her ship into its embrace. Really? They're still using like the goddamn Kroku sound effect here? That's without the missile effects, but like it's like the beginning part of the effect though. Engaging space elevator thermal insulation layer. The sector's data terminal is inside the Gabon space. Thanks to the atmosphere protecting it, the Earth should not have been entropized yet. I mean, like, that'd be crazy if the entropy could like, I don't know, like learn to take the radiation from Earth. Earth is pretty bad, honestly. I can imagine like Kana coming to Earth and being all like, "Holy shit, there's zombies here!" Space Kana goes to Earth. Not only is there zombies, but she can't breathe either. She'd be all like, "Holy crap! Why is the Earth worse than the vacuum of space?" There's so much radiation. There's so much collapsed radiation everywhere. Not to mention that, like, I've seen some of the bosses in Girls Frontline 2, and they're crazy. There's like giant, like, behemoth, like, zombies or whatever. There's like giant, like, snake zombies. I mean, technically everything's a zombie, but like, I don't want to call it a zombie anymore. They're like monsters. They're like, I guess it's more accurate to call them like collapsed particle monsters or something. But the bosses in GFL 2 are crazy. They're not zombies anymore. They're more just like collapsed particle monsters. But yeah, they're not zombies. I mean, I guess technically they are zombies because like they're probably dead on the inside. But it's crazy though. They're just giant irradiated monsters. It's like if you thought fighting against bad robots was bad, like the giant mutated shit's even worse. I can imagine like the Entropics going to Earth and being all like, "Yo, this place sucks. Why would we even want this?" The sector's data terminal is inside the Gabon base. Thanks to the atmosphere protecting it, the Earth should not have been entropized. Once we reach Gabon's base, we'll be able to reset the sector, and these agents will also be able to. The lift will now be entering the atmosphere. Please brace for possible turbulence. The elevator suddenly plummets, and the car tilts to one side, sending the Hubble sliding to the other side of the vessel. What happened? Are the gravity ripples that big? Hubble, you should put on your spacesuit. As the vessel shakes, Hubble struggles to her feet and lifts her head before accepting the spacesuit that Fresno is handing to her. Through the observation window, they can both see that part of the space elevator's armored superstructure is starting to turn purple from entropization. Fresno, look outside! Fresno does as she is told, and she sees the space elevator's white exterior has become overgrown with a network of purple veins at some point, and entropics are crawling into the elevator shaft through a breach. When did they entropize the space elevator? They were probably on the elevator while we were trying to transfer the ship to it. If we stay inside the elevator's car, the ship would get entropized quickly. And, another shockwave rocks the vessel as the spaceship enters the atmosphere. The sound of collapsing elevator explodes in their ears like a thunder. Vessel descent speed exceeds safe velocities. We need to get out of here right now, otherwise we'll be picking between being entropized or being smashed to bits. The elevator's superstructure is too thick. We can't escape. We can't burst our way through it. Then we'll shoot our way out. Headboard cannon. Bearing 12 o'clock. Fire! The cannon blasts a huge hole in the armored elevator shaft, and Fresnel pilots the ship out from it in the emergency escape. The vessel's high-speed descent and the massive amount of heat caused by the atmospheric friction made the cabin temperature spike. Cabin temperature exceeds safe levels. Activate heat shields. Stand by, retro rockets. Execute forced descent procedural. All astern full. Fresno keeps her eyes fixed on the command terminal. Switch systems to autopilot. Destination, Gabon Data Center. Violent shaking accompanies the ear-piercing screech of grinding metal and the unbearable weight of excessive gravity. The emergency heat shielding saves the ship, and Hubble can glimpse the space elevator tilting and keeling over. The cables snap, and the elevator car plunges downward at an angle. The sight of the purple interposition where the cables snap makes Hubble gas and shock. Gravity parameters irregular. Vessel has been lost balance. The space elevator collapses and is reduced to a pile of rubble in the blink of an eye. The impact is so great that it even deforms the interior of the spaceship. Ah, this is bad. Hubble! Hubble is thrown into mid-air, and a combination of the impact and massive neural cloud strain blacks her vision out. In the last moment before everything goes dark, Hubble sees Fresno undoing her safety belt and rushing towards her. Owie, that hurts. Hubble slowly climbs to her feet and rubs her head. Huh? This is an anti-overlord helmet. Did Fresno put it on me? Fresno? Hubble frantically looks around and finally sees Fresno passed out in the corner. She struggles to her feet and then heads over to Fresno's side. Fresno! Fresno! Phew, good thing you aren't badly hurt. How long has it been since we crashed? How's Jupiter doing? As well as the others. Hubble takes out her personal terminal and finds a message from the Oasis there. It's from Anna. Ah, she finally finished analyzing it, I see. This part of the message is about the use of the cipher key and things of note. In other words, as she looks at the news inside the terminal, Hubble gradually balls her hands up in a fist. Hubble. Fresno, are you awake? Ah, my head hurts, and I think my legs are malfunctioning. This place. Where is this place? This is the data center of Gabon Research Lab. We made it. Fresno looks at Hubble. For some reason, she seems a little unrecognizable. Was I out for long? Just a while. I woke you up with the medical supplies left in the base. We don't have much time left. My guess is, apart from Earth, the rest of the solar system has been completely entropized. How could this... the Ring World, Ringhan, Yuan... Don't tell me we didn't manage to protect anything at all. No, in the darkest hour, hope springs eternal. As long as we can restart the Juitan sector before the sun swallows the Earth, we can save everything. The heat death is the end of the universe, and it's also its beginning. Did you forget? It's like what we went through during the simulated flight in the Oasis. So, the end of the heat death is the rebirth of the universe. Come, let's restart the Juitan sector now. Fresno takes Hubble's hand and rises to her feet, then looks around. There's a terminal in the center of the room with a progress bar on it. It's filling up. What is this progress bar? It shows the progress of universal entropization, or in other words, how much of the sector's mass has been depleted. The sector can only be restarted once the progress bar reaches 100%, and the entire universe reaches complete thermodynamic equilibrium. So, we need to clear out all the mass in the universe? Yes, the humans instituted this as a condition for the universal reset to simulate a complete heat death. In other words, everything that used to be the Juitan sector needs to become heat death entropics. But what about the data? What about the last hope they left behind for us? My guess is the data Belka and the others left us counts towards the mass that needs to be wiped out too. But how? Is there really no other way? Can't we preserve anything? No, we're keeping this data safe. Like Gargari and others said, we'll be taking it with us. I have a plan, Fresno, but I need your help. Oh shit, I'm playing as Hubble only. Juitan sector, inside the Gabon Research Labs data center. We got one last thing to do. One last thing. Hubble and Fresno run frantically through the various file rooms until they come to a stop in front of one particular door. Found it. These are the hard drives Zanu left in the data center. This is the essence of the entire Juitan sector. It's essential for rebuilding the sector at the reset. We need to get them on the spaceship. Warning! Signs of enterprisation detected inside the base. Device malfunctions detected in communications room and lab number 12. It's coming faster than we expected. We're out of time, Fresnel. Give me your terminal. I'll sync the sector reset progress to it, so we know its condition at all times. All right, I'll start moving the hard drives. Let's meet the spaceship. Okay, I'm counting on you. The hard drives contain the entire sector's worth of research data, and observation logs are not light or portable by any stretch of the word. Even the spaceship's own loading mechanisms helping out, moving them is a tiring task for Fresnel. Fresnel eyes the boxes before her warily. In order to protect against zero gravity and vibrations, all the large devices on the spaceship will weld it in place. Is there any way to get the hard drives beyond the reach of the heat death? Warning! Labs 1, 4, 5, and 7 have been entropized. Device malfunction detected. Isn't lab number 4 right next to us? Fresnel! Hubble rushes out of the control center and boards the ship. How are the hard drives? Yep, all stowed and secured. But how are we going to take away such huge objects? The terminal displays the total amount of mass within the Jutin sector. The sector can only be reset once the amount of entropized mass reaches the designated amount. However, some things don't count towards this amount. These things can be taken beyond the heat death's reach. Like, say, people like us from the outside sector. Correct. That implies that you can use non-sector mass as a substitute for the sector mass, which can then be taken out of the sector. So, we can entropize stuff on the ship as a substitute for the hard drives. Hubble, you're a genius. Well, it's just a hypothesis. I hope it works out. In any case, let's go test it out. Got it. I'll dismantle a part of the ship and dump it in the entropized area of the space. Hubble and Fresnel dispatch one of the ship's drones with a small amount of equipment and send it to the entropized region. As the escape pod disintegrates, the progress bar additionally fills a little on top of its existing rate. This is great! Your hypothesis worked out. This way, we can save all the hard drives. The ship needs to take off before the entropy draws near. We'll dump all the substitute mass on the spaceship once we're airborne. But if the entire Earth gets entropized, where will we leave from? The ship's almost out of power. Fly north, towards the North Pole. Anna opened a back door to the sector there. Okay, got it. Back door basically is like a portal then. Like Antonina just be like making portals like wherever she wants to make it. I think she also did that too for like Burpink and Cyclops. Like she made back doors for those. High energy enterprisation reaction detected in the vicinity of the vessel. Here it comes. A menacing horde of Entropids closes in on the spaceship. They are like a towering tsunami, ready to swamp an isolated, vulnerable little rowboat before it. Fresnel grits her teeth and fires up the engines. With the aid of the thrusters, the spaceship soon escapes the entropized region. The end is upon us. Hubble looks longingly at the now purple sky, as though bidding it a final farewell. Hubble opens the hatch door, and the hot winds heated by the red giant sun washes the cabin's alarms go off. Hold hatch is not closed. Cabin pressure abnormality detected. Fresnel, keep the ship steady. I'll dump the things that can substitute the hard drive mass out the rear. Oh, yo, I'm fighting a fucking black hole. I am literally fighting a goddamn black hole. Wow. Resetting the Jutin requires clearing out enough matter. Well, we're still a little bit off from our goal. The supplies on the spaceship can be used to make up for that difference. Let me see. These are the special first aid kits Panikia prepared for us. Gah! It's not the time to get sentimental. With my ability, we can move these devices. For the sake of protecting Jutin's data, and I really am sorry, we had to let these supplies become a part of the grand wide universe. If it's possible, I'd like to stop and say a proper goodbye to these supplies. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how like they incorporated her fucking ultimate ability. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. They incorporated into it. Experimental apparatus spacesuits. The spacesuit she's holding is the one that Fresnel gave her back then. Thanks to it, she didn't get knocked unconscious by being bounced around inside the ship. Kroku's modified welder. Alba remembers how she and Fresnel laughed in private about how Kroku made it look like a pineapple. Emergency rations. She remembered how Choco pushed the chocolate there onto her and kept reminding her about the importance of replenishing her energy in space. Not the chocolate, no! Eucharist is crying Eucharist is shaking right now. How dare you? How dare you throw the chocolate into the black hole? Somewhere like at the fucking like Esphorus like entropy base. She's all like, I smell chocolate. Chocolate's being thrown away right now. One precious item after another goes up the hatch, carrying happy memories of the past with them as they fall, shatter, and are subsumed into the Enterprise ground. Meanwhile, sector mass elimination progress updated. Just a little more, and we have compensated for the hard drive's mass. Yeah. The self-defense firearms are gone. The backup gear is gone. By this time, the ship's hold is pretty much gone. However, the improvisation shows no sense of stopping, even though the heat death progress bar is still going. We should have dumped enough stuff to make up for the hard drives. So why hasn't the sector reset yet? The progress bar says there's just a little more. We've already detached the boosters, so the only thing we can ditch now are the escape pods, but the escape parts alone won't be enough to make up for the last shortfall. Warning, contact with Gabon Joint Research Database has been lost due to improvisation. Hubble looks up at the sky, which has been dyed a creepy purple by improvisation. And then she looks up at the hard drives behind her. As the administrator of Juitan's sector, I have accompanied it over the course of its life. From the moment I was awakened, the importance of my task and its value has been constantly drilled into me. The importance of Juitan has been written in my base layer logic. It has always been a source of pride for me. But now, during the time of crisis, I realized that I what truly took pride in was the fact that I built this sector with you. As long as the stars shine upon us, we shall be reunited in Juitan. Juitan's technology and resources far exceed those of the Oasis. Hopefully, we can use this chance to forge an alliance with them. That said, the most important thing is still having everyone come back safely. Fresnel, thank you for coming here with me. Well, of course I had to go. What would happen if you lost yourself in Juitan and never came back? How could that be? The stars belong in the heavens, but I belong in the Oasis. Looks like I won't be able to finish the mission in person. Sorry about that. Make sure you help me save the Juitan sector. I know you guys can do it. Yes, we will. Hubble stands at the entrance to the ship's hold. There is no fear on her face, only gratitude and appreciation. Hubble, I'm going to dump the escape pods. We'll be accelerating soon, so close the hatch. Hubble? Fresnel turns, but finds the hold empty. Meanwhile, a new terminal has appeared beside the sector data hard drives at some point. Fresnel remembers that this terminal contains the backups of Belka, Ringhan, Yuan, and the backups of all the agents in the Juitan sector. The escape pods was activated? No, stop. Fresnel frantically looks at the words in the terminal. Why don't I have permission to edit this? No! No, 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 please, no. It's not what I'm thinking, is it? Could it be? Hubble? No! No! Her mournful wails echo through the air. Hubble smiles at Fresnel from where she's plummeting to Earth. But they're too far apart now. You weren't supposed to sacrifice yourself! Fresnel cannot see her. No! Don't do it! No! Stop! I'm sorry, Fresnel. Oh, no. We keep losing! We keep losing family! Hubble looks back at the spaceship through the escape pod's window and smiles apologetically. I'm sorry for bringing the backups of Belka and the others on the ship without telling you. I'm sorry, because I knew from the beginning that we wouldn't have enough mass from the moment I got Anna's message. It's from Anna. Oh, it's a message Zanu left behind. In other words, we need to get rid of all the mass in the Jutin sector. If the time comes and the mass we brought along can't make for the shortfall, then When you think about it, maybe it's a good thing that I gained weight recently. I guess it's worthwhile so everyone can see each other again. I guess I'll become the last piece of the puzzle that resets the Jutin sector. Hubble looks at the purple void. It's completely different from how it was in the Oasis simulated universe. Searing, hot, utterly dark, silent, and filled with despair. But the spaceship that carries hope with it has flown far away by now. I wonder, how will the universe look after its reset? I'm sure it'll be a world that fascinates the brand new me, just like before. Mass elimination progress updated, commencing sector reset. The darkness slowly covers up the endless purple, and in that moment, all things are silent. In the vast firmament, there's no way to tell the land from the sea. They seem to be drifting apart, yet approaching each other without a sound. All energy gathers into a point into the void, and a blinding light shatters the darkness. The sudden supernova releases immense quantities of energy, which stirs up the molecular clouds. The power of gravity causes these nebulae to collapse on themselves. As time goes by, the nebulae rotate faster and faster, while mass gradually accumulates, hydrogen fusion begins, and the hyperdense cores, and a primordial sun is born. The pull of gravity slowly shapes the planets and locks them into their orbits. After much time passes, the solar system finally reaches current state. It is as though a pair of invisible yet gentle hands were working in the void, slowly restoring the broken remnants of creation to wholeness. In this way, the universe is reincarnated and reborn, with only a solitary spaceship floating powerlessly in the void. You did it, Fresnel! You won by yourself. Oh no! Oh! Oh, I'm playing as Fresnel now. Why you do this, Mika? Why you do this? You could have let me play as Hubble still. You changed the main character! I'm playing as fucking Fresnel. That's not fair! That's not fair! Why? Juiton sector at the admin center of Jovian Ringworld. Mind your feet, Professor. The Jovian Ringworld has gravity generator systems. Well, we know it's safe for the Professor to get here now. Well, it's reassuring to have a floor with proper gravity under me. Well, you did rush over immediately the moment you finished your basic training. It took me a month to clear the final exam back then. Fresnel supports me as I walk, helping me adjust from going from zero-G environment to normal gravity. Well, I didn't want to keep our friends waiting for too long. You're right. Professor of the Oasis, Tetsamaru. Welcome to the Juitin sector. Just as I finish acclimating to the gravity here, a unique-looking agent comes to meet us. I am Zanu, the administrator of the Juitin sector. Greetings. Miss Fresnel, it's been a whole. Thank you for projecting the research data and agent backups to the Juitin sector. It allowed us to be reborn. I didn't protect it by myself. The credit for that goes to you and everyone who fought for Juitin. I was simply the last one who held on to it. Even so, you still have our utmost gratitude. How has Juitin been recently? Currently, it has largely finished restoring itself from backups. And thanks to the support from the Oasis, we managed to finish rebuilding quickly. What about the HD Entropics? Our Antonina had a hypothesis that the activation of the heat death was related to the all-out entropic invasion of Magressi. As for that, we're monitoring the situation in real time, and Yuang did find some analysis of his own. Before Zanu can finish, a set of footsteps and arguing voices reach us from outside. What was that maneuver just now? I don't recall that being part of the training schedule. It was a snap decision I made as a Takunaut. Didn't I complete the mission without a hitch? Alright, I admit the stunt worked very well, but all the same, please stick to the program during a training exercise instead of randomly adding new items on a whim. You don't get it, do you, partner? After all, a vivid imagination and an unflagging determination are both equally essential. Also, it wasn't on a whim, it was a decision I reached after careful consideration and consultation of my experiences. Then at least clear with me before you do it next time, otherwise. Alright, I'll buy you a meal. The door to the admin center opens, and two dolls enter. Zanu, morning! Huh? What a coincidence. Speak of the devil. Are you Fresnel? Heh, I can tell that you got the potential as a Takunaut. A Takunaut, you say? Yes, people have told me that before. Ah, yes! You have said that before to Fresnel. Nice to meet you, Ringhan and Yuang. I believe this is the first time we met. Or rather, it should be the first time we met in a while to you, right? Yeah, in any case, we'll have many more chances to meet later on. So that'll do. What brings you to Juitin Signal, Fresnel? Huh, and you would be? Takunaut Ringhan, ground control monitor Yuan. I am Professor Tetsamaru. Ah, you must be the one Zanu mentioned. Hi, Professor. I'm Ringhan. Luijin says hi to the Professor too. Beep beep. I'm glad you're here, Yuan. Please explain the conclusion regarding the HD Entropics. The HD Entropics. I understand. According to the files provided by Miss Anna and the data projected by Miss Fresnel, we can conclude that these HD Entropics and the regular Entropics in Magressi have the same kind of base layer logic. However, that only means they have similarities in their base framework. They are fundamentally two different classes of entities. On the screen, Yuan brings up information on the HD Entropics. One particular high-order entropic draws my attention. Huh? Do you have any thoughts about this high-order HD entropic? She looks kind of dumb. I like that. I know her name. It's Kana. There's a high-order entropic in Magressi that resembles this HD entropic, and they're both called Kana. I don't think that's a coincidence. But if the entropic and these HD entropics had the same base layer logic, then it's very likely that the reason why the heat death activated early was because of the full-scale entropic assault on Magressi. Anna reached a similar conclusion herself. Unfortunately, we lack sufficient data to theorize any further on this. Thank you for the explanation. Yuan. So what about the HD entropics left in Juitin? After they reset the Juitin sector, we found a certain region of space. That region was not reset. I scouted around it. That region felt very chaotic and dangerous. None of our instruments could probe it. Ringhan rubs the back of her head, as though there's more she wants to say. Ringhan? Well, I might be imagining things, but when I went near that region, I had a feeling of nostalgia. Nostalgia? Upon hearing Ringhan's words, I exchanged a glance for Fresnel. It appears that you and Fresnel know what it is, Professor. I wouldn't say we know what it is. More like we have a hunch. You see, we lost a friend in Juitin. Before she boarded our ship, Hubble secretly brought a copy of all the agent backups with her. In the end, she allowed herself to be consumed by the heat death in order to protect those backups. She knew that the others would stop her if they knew she brought their backups with her, so she did it in secret without telling anyone. Hubble, for some reason, is... Yeah! That's supposed to be your friend, damn it! Supposed to be your friend. You don't know her anymore. Ah! You were all friends. For some reason, the name sounds really familiar. Still, logic dictates that the Oasis should have backup of Hubble. Surely you could reset her, right? Well, we tried, but it didn't work. We theorized it's similar to how agents who are entropized had their backups entropized too. Perhaps Hubble was eaten away by the HD entropics and could not be reset. There are missing pieces in Hubble's backup data, and parts of Juitin which could not be reset. I don't think this is a coincidence. I look at the main screen, and that patch of space that's colored a bewitching purple. An eerie sensation fills my body, as though someone was spying on us. What was that just now? Fresno, did you feel it too? The stars shine in the boundless cosmos. Holy shit! In the Eldritch Void, a crimson planet sees its first rays of daylight. So this is the light of daybreak. How dazzling it is. Oh, blue. I like the blue text. A slumbering Iris wakes from her dreams, and lazily reaches a hand out to block the light of the dawn. The heavens turn and the stars flow, as all things race towards destruction. Come then, let us witness the end of time together. Oh, and there's the end screen. Nice. Okay, so I know that we can gacha for Hubble later on. I know that that's been spoiled to me. So we can gacha for her eventually. So it may take a couple of events, but we can get Hubble. We can get new Hubble. Let me see. 12 days, 15 days, expend Stardust. Buy 50 items and base supplies. I'll definitely do that. Buy 300 items. I'll definitely do that. Do Starfield exploration 15 times in total. 20 times. I'll definitely do that. Complete 6 challenge missions. I could do that. 9, 12, 15. 15 might be pretty tough. That might be pretty tough. Because, like, the later stages are getting pretty tough, too. But I would definitely give that a try. Yo, this event was fire though. This was on fire. Awesome. This I used up all my points. Huh, but you know. This was definitely an amazing one. It was great. Great. We just came from like the fucking collab too. We came from the Steins Gate collab. And then we had the Irma, we had like the Irma mini event in Girls Frontline. That one was a mini event. That's not a major event. That's just a mini event. Make some of this shit. Alright, buying all the fucking Yuan shit. Where does that get me? Where does that get me?
その日が来たら月の都に何を持っていくその日が来たら月の都に
4.5 stars. And then like if I include like the affection bits or whatever. Two, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 15. I'm missing 2. I'm missing 2. Where was the last 2? Oh, I have more than enough? So there's 15 you get from affection. I'm at 73, and I get like fucking, wait, 5, 7. I get 7 more here. Oh. So, oh, 7, 9, 15. Oh, there's 15 in here. Oh, okay. So, technically, there's more than enough. There's more than enough fragments because, like, I guess, like, it's just to... I guess so you don't have to get your Yuan to Affection 15. I guess that makes sense. Oh, 14. You don't need Affection 15. You need Affection 14. So, as long as I do all the side missions, I'll get 15, and then I could get, like, 2 more just from, like, just from, like, bringing them, like, in on my dailies or whatever. All I need to do is get to Intimacy 3. If I get him to Intimacy 3, I'll get the last 15 from the side quest. And then, like, technically the rest of these are just extras. Yuan was a freebie. Horizon was a freebie. Uranus was a freebie. Never really used Horizon. Never used her. Horizon was a cool character, but she definitely didn't, like, do the same amount of shit that, like, the Juiten sector agents did. Yuan definitely, like, felt more impactful than Horizon did. Horizon was, like, almost, like, second Persicaria in their event. She was, like, assistant. She was, like, assistant Persicaria. So, like, she didn't feel that important, honestly. Yeah, she didn't kind of feel like she was kind of just there. And then, like, I don't think Uranus was anywhere in there. Uranus was just a fucking freebie. Like, that's all he was. He was just a freebie. I don't think he was actually in the story. And then, oh, Sokka Delager. Sokka Delager is gonna get a Alma Inscripta, I remember. She is going to get an Alma Inscripta. And I think it just gives her more piercing. Because, like, that's all her moves are piercing shit anyway. Oh, actually, I don't see any piercing in here at all. I know that her ultimate does, like, it like goes through a line, though. I'm pretty sure she gains piercing in her Armor Inscripto. I guess for the next, for the next couple of weeks, I just, like, daily, like, just do, like, the farm map or whatever. No quick battle, though. Not having a quick battle is definitely kind of annoying. So, I just kind of, like, just run the auto battle, and then I just AFK for a bit. There should definitely be a quick battle here. I already beat it once. I proved that I can beat it. Stop making me do it. Alright, I also need to, like, fucking do my goddamn Nikkei dailies before, like, the fucking time resets. At least in my time zone, the server is gonna reset, like, in 8 hours. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just do that off stream. So, in that case, I'm gonna go grab myself some dinner. I'm gonna go cook myself some like, ramen or whatever. I'm gonna cut off here for the stream. And we'll be back here on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be back here on Tuesday. I'll take a break. I'll take a break from shit. So, I see y'all.